Okay, live stream as my phone crumbles to the floor. Okay, live stream. And this is going to be. There's that tripod. Okay, this is for the 2020 NBA draft. And I'm going to be taking you guys through all of the picks. At least the first round. We'll see what happens once we get to the second round. But I love the draft. We've already had some big news today. Al Horford got traded. Check out the Al Horford video if you haven't already. What's up to Camilo? Guys, if it's your first time here, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, if you can believe it, and in just a few short months. Hey to Ebony Boss. I'm gonna appreciate Ants Man. I'm gonna try to read a lot of these comments as we go through the draft. I mean, things are gonna be coming at us really quick, so I'm not gonna be able to get to everything, of course. But if I don't see one of your questions, maybe ask it a second time. Who's going first? I still think LaMelo's going first, to be honest. If not LaMelo, it'll be Anthony Edwards. But until I see somebody besides LaMelo, that's who I'm going with. But yeah, who are you guys excited for to see in the draft? Who do you want to go where? Who's your team? What team do you or what player do you want your team to get? Jay Billis is he's looking rough. You know me, I'm a Grizz fan. I got my Grizz shirt on right now as we speak. We've only got the 40th pick. I really like Cassius Stanley. I really like Killian Tilly if he would last that long. That would be a good pick for the Grizz. But yeah, Al Horford trade today, so he is going to the Thunder. They have just completely redone their entire team. Like I was looking at their roster, like half the players from who were on the team just last week are off the team now. Yeah, they did their Laker trade. Yeah, we're gonna be able to hear it. Yeah, I got the TV on mute right now. Here, in fact, I'll let me get the remote now. We'll put the TV, take the mute off. I got the remote over here. So yeah, nothing really going on right now. They're still doing the pregame right now, pre-show. First pick is probably still about 5-10 minutes away. So yeah, just turn on ESPN and follow along with me. And it's so interesting how they're doing it this year because there's no audience. They're not doing it at MSG or Barclays Center like they've done in the past. Everything is socially distanced. Everything is virtual. Who we got? We got Jay Billis. We got Reese Gaines. We got Greg Anthony. Wonder if he's going to be pumped for his son. And then we got, I think that's Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmitz, who's the draft extraordinaire kind of guy. So, yeah. With this live feed, this is the first time I've done it, but they're fun to do. You guys really liked the Giannis Bucks trade live feed that I did the other day. Hold on, we got Woj on camera. What's Woj saying?
Still on the phones, fielding calls, talking to teams about potential trades out of that number one spot. They're also talking about deals with their pick.
Woj saying the Wolves still looking to trade that number one pick.
But this was their plan all along, was the field calls all the way to the.
That's a big reason I'm thinking they might just go with LaMelo because I think he's the guy who has the most trade value.
Versus making a decision on selecting a player at number one and keeping him. All right, Woj. So who should it be? Number one, who should be?
But yeah, this is just going to be really casual. I'm not going to be talking the whole time. Sometimes I'll just be watching right along with you guys. I got my my computer to catch up with the rosters, get everything up to date. And, you know, this is one of those videos where I'm not doing it to make tons of money off this channel or off this video. I'm not doing it to really get a lot of subs. This is just kind of something that's fun to do, that I kind of do it more for my own amusement, just because I love the draft so much. In fact, I'm going to post on YouTube just another reminder to everybody that we got the live stream going on. Yeah, if you guys are already doing a live stream type deal, I wish I had face cam like some of these guys, but I just have my cell phone. But yeah, we got Flight Mike, who's doing one. We got Mojo's doing one. I don't want to name out everybody because I don't want you leaving the stream to go see them. Bruh says he turned on notifications so he could watch. Bruh. I appreciate Bruh. Bruh, I remember you in the comments, man. Appreciate you checking out the vids for sure. Yeah, anybody watching? Hey, if you're not subbed up, make sure you are subbed. We're trying to get to 10K subscribers by the end of the month, really. I was hoping by the end of the year, but we're so close. I'm thinking by the end of the month we could maybe do it. But every subscriber helps. This channel has only been around since earlier this year. So one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube, if I'm being honest with you. Especially one of the fastest growing basketball channels right now. Okay, let me go ahead and the inner workings of posting on YouTube while doing a live feed. I'm just gonna let everybody know, put everything in the community tab too, that we got that we got a live feed going on. All right. So yeah, what's everybody most excited about with the draft? I'm with me. Once we get past like the top 10 picks, I think that's when it's going to get really interesting as far as who's going to go where, because there's so much parity in this draft that it's going to be, a lot of these guys are so close that you don't exactly know, and with everything moving so quickly for next year, as far as the season already about to start up, I think that's going to play into it too. One thing I was wondering about is, it's already tough enough for a rookie to come into the NBA, but then what about when there's when you have the pandemic going on, when travel is going to be a lot different than most years, how there's such quick turnaround time. It's interesting. Okay, hey, we are officially starting up. Make sure you're turned on ESPN just like me. What's up to Eric? Just the way they do these intros for the draft, it's like, I mean, yeah, of course, this is a big night in everybody's life, but they build it up. It's like, it's crazy. Just the dramatic music, just the everyone's dream is coming true. It's great. It's great. I remember back when Adam Silver was just he was doing second round. Now he's first round. Good for him, man. I love Adam Silver. Like, I thought David Stern was a great commissioner. Adam Silver is just even blowing him out of the water, you know? Bruh, so bruh is a Cavs fan, huh? Bruh, who do you want the Cavs to get? Bruh?
You're watching NBA Draft 2020 presented by State Farm. Tonight, the Bristol campus, ESPN, home of the worldwide leader, is the heartbeat and the epicenter of basketball. The NBA Draft will be conducted here in this era of the pandemic. We'll hear from the players.
Let me know if you guys can hear the TV all right, too. How's the audio? Where do I think Obi's going to go? I think Obi's going to go to the Cavs. I think Cleveland's going to take Obi. Here's Kamish.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 NBA Draft. While we wish we could be in an arena hosting the top picks, their families and friends, and thousands of fans, we're grateful to ESPN for still finding a way to make this one of the most memorable nights on the NBA calendar. The draft marks a new beginning for our team.
I had a comment one time. Could be a bit louder. Let me turn it up a little bit.
This draft, however, is anything
Somebody told me one time Adam Silver was looking like a Nosferatu in one of my videos.
Pickup games in most places. And with opening night fast approaching and less time to prepare, this class of rookies will be challenged more than ever before. But they are ready. Like so many organizations fighting their way through the pandemic, we're trying to adapt to a new normal. At the same time, we recognize that virtually every decision comes with enormous uncertainty. By opening our season on Christmas week, we not only hope to find a way to operate
So pumped about this Christmas opening,
but to inspire
or Christmas
resilience
week
and
opening.
optimism in others who are also struggling through these difficult times. And while tonight we welcome the best of the best from around the world, we also celebrate a game whose universal values have been passed down from generation to generation. Values like respect, equality, tolerance, and fairness.
Older SVP.
That's why basketball is a game for everyone, and one whose values...
Oh, both guys look alike, huh?
So let's get started with this terrific group of young men who are moments away from hearing their names called.
Let me hear it. Who do you guys think the number one pick is going to be?
The 2020 NBA Draft belongs to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have 5 minutes to make their selection.
All right, Timberwolves. 5 minutes for their selection. So we got Bruh saying Anthony Edwards, Ant-Mans saying LaMelo.
Russell as cornerstones there and trying to sort of re-energize a franchise that has really struggled in recent years. And the question is exactly how will
I'm interested to see how Mike Schmitz does on the draft. I don't think he's ever done a draft before. Timberwolves just get the number one pick all the time, it seems like, man. Or at least like way up there. Way up there. Hey, if it's your first time here, if you're just checking out the channel, appreciate you doing it. This is a big night in the channel, doing a live stream of the draft. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you're subbed up. You got to subscribe to the channel. We're going for 10K subscribers. Yeah, this is a small channel by NBA YouTube standards, but we all started somewhere, right? Would appreciate the support for sure.
As they are selected, Bobby Marks from a front office perspective will give us some insight there as well. So Minnesota on the clock right now.
Is that Jay Williams or is that Greg Anthony? I thought it was Greg Anthony before. Now it looks like Jay Williams.
The moment that they have to announce their pick. You're sitting in their shoes. How would you approach this? What would you do?
Well, first, if you're going to use the pick, you take the best player.
Because I was like, what are they doing having Greg Anthony on here when his son's about to get
You're
drafted?
worried too much about fit. I think you're worried about the best player available.
Somebody say
And
Bryn
this
Forbes
year,
sign and trade for the number 1 pick. Yeah, what could go
players
wrong,
you're
right?
Looking at are all different. They're really different. And I think reasonable basketball minds can differ on is LaMelo Ball the right choice or Anthony Edwards the right choice. You know, those are close calls to make. But if you are going to wait, if they are,
What's the game whenever
right
Jay
now,
Billis
and
says
you're not sold
wingspan?
on the
People
top, you're not sold on your guy.
kick
Trading
one
down and
kick
getting
one
low
back.
draft
They
picks
take a
is not bad
drink.
thing in this draft, 'cause you can get
I got my water.
of starters here that could wind up turning into all-stars if you're not sure that the guy you're taking at the top is going to be a franchise caliber player for you.
And I think it's safe to assess this class and say there's no LeBron James in this class. There's no one guy
Okay, that is Jay Williams.
franchise to a championship pretty much on his own back, right? Like
You're sure of.
that you're sure. of.
Loving that turtleneck. He's looking sharp.
This is in this draft. So if you're Minnesota, if you are taking a lot
Like that jacket, too.
I think that's a smart move. But Jay, I would kind of slightly differ with you. I don't know if taking a LaMelo Ball with having a D'Angelo Russell who needs to be on the ball and handle the ball.
Everybody was saying how this draft is like 2013.
You know,
How
James has already said he has
there's a LaMelo with LeVar and his mom.
Not sure about how he thinks the fit
What's
would
up,
be.
Ball family in Chino Hills?
Anthony Edwards is the right selection here.
You guys gonna buy any of LaMelo's clothes off his clothing line?
You know, if you can trade it and get a veteran around Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, that can help them with.
Oh, there's Anthony Edwards with looks like paintings of his mom and grandma. That's a big part of his story. If you guys aren't familiar, he lost his mother and his grandmother, and that has really helped to fuel him in his basketball career. Nice, nice that they've got the two of them next to him there on the couch. NBA draft unlike any other, that is for sure, man. Unlike any other.
Who can dribble, pass, and shoot, and I'll take the 6'7" guy who can make everyone around him better. But still, I get the fit with Anthony Edwards.
You see the key players that Timberwolves have, hoping that D'Angelo Russell will live up to his draft position from a few years ago when he was taken 2nd overall. Anything in terms of any of these guys that particularly worry you? And a lot of times teams are afraid to go number 1 because they...
Yeah, get well Klay Thompson. Anybody know the latest on Klay? Because I heard that he got injured, but other than that, is he...
He's not the most.
I just know he hurt his leg. Hopefully it's nothing super serious, especially after he
There is a thing about
after he was out all last year.
Be great. LaMelo Ball doesn't shoot it great. He's not a great. Actually, Lonzo's a better shooter coming out of college or coming into the draft, I should say, than LaMelo is right now. And he also doesn't guard anybody. Now that may change in the future, but right now that's sort of who he is.
So what's this? I've been doing a lot of stuff tonight. So what is this with the news regarding Bogdan maybe not signing with the Bucks after all? They're saying that he's still going to enter free agency.
Yeah, 117-33 also.
Yeah, Rod, that Horford trade tonight, we were talking about that earlier. That's nuts. I actually had OKC as one of the destinations. Okay, number 1 pick. I'll watch it right along with you guys. Yeah, Timberwolves, they're trying to trade this pick like up to this very second. We'll see if they... I feel if they take LaMelo, that's more of... That says maybe they have a trade on the table, whereas if they take Edwards, they didn't have a trade.
To start winning these type of games. It's been a challenging year for Karl Anthony Towns all the way around.
Wendell Carter and the Golden State, or in the Bulls pick to Golden State. I think that's a great move for Golden State. I would do that in 2 seconds. And if I were the Bulls, I would take LaMelo with that number 2 pick. I don't think you need to fill it with Wiseman because you can get big guys. They're a dime a dozen in the league today. Plus, I think LaMelo is going to be better than James Wiseman. So Woj says they're taking Edwards, huh? All right.
So the first pick, the 2020 NBA draft is in. The Minnesota Timberwolves have made a selection, and there is the commissioner, Adam Silver, on his way to the podium.
Yeah, Shams is saying they're going to take Edwards as well. Let's see.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards.
There you go.
University of Georgia.
Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards.
With his mother and grandmother with him there in spirit. which hat he can take out of that big box now, and it is the one that belongs to the Minnesota.
Number 1 pick. When was the last time a guard went number 1 like that? Like a 2 guard?
Able to share the moment virtually with Commissioner Adam Silver.
I don't know, maybe it's obvious. I can't think of one offhand though. Usually it's the big guys.
When he was just 3 years old, his dad started calling him Ant-Man, and it really started.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I just love having the draft. Oh, I love it. I get so sad when the draft is over too, because it's like, oh, I gotta wait another year. But that's not gonna be the case this year, since it's already gonna be next June, so that'll be good.
Smart, let him go play basketball. Look at that big fella get into the
Yeah, started out in football, Edwards did. Then started basketball.
since Dominique Wilkins, the human highlights.
I think he's got the talent. I think if he can become a better defender, make better decisions with the ball, be a better shooter,
Is over.
he's gonna be awesome.
He's a huge,
Gonna be awesome.
explosive talent. Anthony Edwards fondly recalls those days growing up in Atlanta and the impact that both his mother and his grandmother.
Yeah, I figure Wiseman will be number 2. You got to think, right?
For good games with Snickers and
Got to think Wiseman will go 2.
things that he will cherish forever.
My mom was smiling, always happy. Nobody could ever make her mad. She always worked hard for her kids. But my grandma kept everything together. When we didn't have a place to stay, she let us come stay with her.
Another thing I'll be doing, guys, is as these picks come in, I keep all the rosters,
A lot of times, but
just like a big
just go to the house.
a big Word document of all the rosters on my computer. So I'm going to be updating these rosters as they come in.
When my mom passed, I was 14 years old. And then probably like a couple months, like right after that, my grandma, she passed away. So it was terrible for our whole family. Everything I do, I wish they was here to see it. But my angels, my mom and my grandmother, they keep me uplifted. They wake me up every day with a smile on my face. I just keep going for them.
So let's look at that Minnesota roster. So, of course, they still have to re-sign Malik Beasley. You assume they will. You assume. But with Edwards, I mean, you're not drafting Edwards to be a backup to Malik Beasley, you know? Maybe at the start of the season, but not for the long run. So,
And you said that your mother and grandmother.
Steven Adams, yeah, I think Steven Adams is as good as gone. Yeah, he's going to get traded for a pick at some point, I think for sure. And I think they'll move Horford into that 5 spot. They'll have to get a 4 somewhere, but that shouldn't be too tough. I mean, hey, they could draft one, you know? So looking at this Minnesota roster, D'Lo at the 1, Ant-Man at the 2.
Absolutely, this is a really special day for your family. We're wishing you all the best.
You could,
Congratulations. I know this looks different.
I guess you could maybe put Malik Beasley
Back to you.
at the 3.
Thank you very much. And
Maybe put Malik Beasley at the 3. I mean, right now they have Culver and Jake Layman. At the 4, they've got Hernan Gomez, if they re-sign him, James Johnson, Jared Vanderbilt. None of those guys really blow my skirt up. Then at the 5, you got Cat, Naz Reid, Omari Spellman. I mean, the biggest thing with this team is just no defense. You have Josh Okogie, who is another guy at the 2 who can give you some defense, but besides that, what are you going to do on defense? You know, everybody's just going to be scoring at you at will. Yeah, Kevin O'Connor, who I respect a lot, he tweeted how Edwards is a great positional fit with the Wolves. With D'Lo and Cat, he attacks the rim. He's got that shot creation. Just needs to improve that jumper, be more consistent, be a better defensive presence. Lots of potential, though. It's all about potential.
How serious is he going to be about being great?
All about potential with Edwards.
He's got all the tools to be great.
Jay, we were at that game in Maui against Michigan State. I mean, he looked like an NBA All-Star. 33 points in the second half, 37.
All right, Woj is tweeting up a storm as well. I won't ruin it for you guys. I'll probably kind of stay off Twitter a lot tonight because I don't want to get these picks ruined for me, really.
I think he can have a Donovan Mitchell type of impact in the NBA. A guy you can give the ball and say, hey, go get us a bucket, go play some pick and roll, go make something
But, you know, if
happen. He needs to buy in defensively.
I'm a betting man, I would say that Golden State's going to go with Wiseman at the 5,
which is one of the most challenging
LaMelo
to play in. But ultimately,
at the
I like
3
the idea
at
of
3
this.
to
I guess the
Charlotte.
next question for them moving forward is, who are the veteran presences that you're keeping around them to make sure that this team continues to grow in the right direction? I think that's important when you have guys like Cat, D'Angelo Russell, and now Anthony Edwards.
Now, Anthony Edwards added to the Minnesota puzzle for the time being, and the team that will make the next selection is the Golden State Warriors. And if you happen to just be joining us as the Warriors are on the clock, word came from Warriors that this afternoon, Klay Thompson, who was coming off an injury to his left ACL, injured his right lower leg, the severity of which is not known yet. So the Warriors were anticipating.
Yeah, they're talking about Klay Thompson's injury tonight. Man,
Healed and ready to go with Klay Thompson, healed and ready to
be
go.
curious to see what happens with him.
To see how severe that injury is.
Somebody just said MJ doesn't draft well. Well, he did do Kwame. That's true.
Golden State's on the clock right now.
I mean, he could have had Eddie Curry that year, right?
And perhaps recharge this dynasty. What do you expect from them in light of the injury and really how they should approach this?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of swinging in the dark here, RD, because depending upon what I'm hearing about the severity of the injury will probably shift slightly maybe to what I decide to do. I don't know if I'm getting Klay Thompson back soon or not. But
Former number 2 pick, talking about
kind of playing around with
Klay Thompson as we're on board for the number 2 pick.
if you can
Jay Williams. I thought he was going to be good. I really thought he was going to be good. He was, he had so much potential coming out of Duke than just that injury.
Deni, who we talked about before, that gives you that bigger size guard that can still defend, that can maybe do some of the things Klay could do, not shoot the ball as well enough, and buy you some time until you get Klay back.
The Warriors are really smart. And I think the one thing in light of this Klay Thompson injury, to your point, we don't know the severity of it. They know more than we do, obviously, right now. But I think you stay disciplined and you stick to your plan and you don't overreact. So if LaMelo Ball was your guy, you take.
Oh yeah, Jordan took MKG, didn't he? You know,
if you were going to trade the pick and you get.
I thought MKG.
But I don't overreact to this.
News about Kendrick Nunn maybe getting traded. Could be. I thought MKG was going to be really, really good. I loved him at Kentucky. Remember he was on that team with Anthony Davis. I thought he was going to be great. He was a huge disappointment. Because remember, he was... A lot of folks thought he was going to be like number 2, number 3 pick. Like, it wasn't crazy that he went number 2. All right, pick number 2. Golden State.
With the second pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Golden State Warriors select James Weissman.
There we go.
From the University of Memphis.
James Wiseman.
James Wiseman at his home in Nashville, Tennessee, played just a few games for Memphis this past season.
Only 3 games for Memphis. There's Penny with him in Nashville.
Versatile guys. He had his virtual moment with the commissioner, and he had his Golden State Warriors.
I'm a Memphis guy. I love Memphis. I hope Wiseman succeeds. I really do, because he's, I wouldn't say he's a local guy because he's from Nashville, but he went to high school in Memphis for a year. He committed to Memphis. I hope he does well. I have my questions about Wiseman. I have questions about his desire to be great. I have questions about what's he going to do when he's just not the most athletic guy on the court, when he can't just overpower people. I have questions about his defense, and I have questions about his ability to extend his shot. But I think the Warriors are a great organization for him to go to. They're going to teach him how to play the right way. Draymond is going to be on him constantly. Yeah, Rod just said that as I said. Draymond is going to be on him. He's going to get some good looks from Draymond, from Curry. So they'll put him in a position to be great. They definitely will. Okay, so looking at Golden State's roster now.
Being selected second overall.
You got Curry, Steph Curry at the 1.
He never seems to be amazed by the emotion and gravity.
Klay Thompson, assuming everything is okay with him. Maybe he just kind of,
Moment happens.
I don't know, maybe, I don't
He's just a tremendous.
I don't know what he did to his leg, but assuming it's not too bad, he's at the 2. Andrew Wiggins at the 3.
Incredibly mobile for his
Draymond at the 4.
finish at the rim. He's got really good feet.
Wiseman at the 5.
Turnaround jumper. He can score in the post. He
Got a
can
bench
knock down a 17-foot
of
jumper, but I think he can also
Kai Bowman, Jordan Poole,
point range. He can block
Damian
shots.
Lee,
He is a big
who is Steph Curry's brother-in-law, actually.
as well. The question is going to be, has the
Eric
game
Pascal.
changed so much that
Alan Smailagic.
into a bigger Chris Bosh?
We got some Smailagic fans watching this video right now. Let me know if you're a Smailagic fan. Then we got Kevon Looney, Marquise Chris, backing up Wiseman at the 5.
Overall, the Golden State and the newest Warriors.
On paper, looks like a great team. On paper.
Thanks, Reese. James, congratulations. After everything that you've been through, both personally...
Looks like he's wearing a Timberwolves hat with those colors, kind of.
What does it mean? How does it feel to finally call yourself an NBA player?
I mean, all praises be to God first, but just me going through this adversity made me stronger as a person, and I'm truly ready just to go to Golden State and just to go and just learn as much as possible and just be the best version of me and just work every day.
How have those rigors prepared you for what you were going to face in this league?
It's been great adversity. Just having God on my side, just leading me throughout the way. Having Coach P on my side, my family on my side, and really just building my mental toughness and just creating that chip on my shoulder to where I just stay humble but just work hard every day. And just,
I remember when he won the,
praise to God.
he won like basketball player,
You haven't played
best high school basketball player award, you know, when he was a senior in Memphis, and Jaren Jackson presented him with the award. I thought that was pretty cool. Because he was getting like Jaren Jackson unicorn comparisons, you know, when he was
And just face the floor
coming
on
into
my side.
college.
I've been playing like a lot of pickup games and stuff this summer, and like I've just been just really just improving my game every day. So I'm ready and I'm prepared.
Congratulations, James. Reese.
Okay, Malika, so the Warriors go with James Wiseman, and the Charlotte Hornets with the 3rd overall pick, and the pick is now in.
Yeah, Rod makes a good point that the Warriors need somebody who can kind of play that Iggy role, Sean Livingston role. Like they need some glue guys, because looking at the bench, I don't really. We'll get back to it in a minute. Let's see what they say. Probably Ball.
Select LaMelo Ball.
Yep,
from
there's
Cherry
Ball.
Hills, California.
LaMelo. I like LaMelo's game. I really do.
LaMelo Ball goes 3rd overall to Charlotte. And look, this is LaMelo's night, but Lonzo still has bragging rights because he went 2nd.
So Lonzo went 2. LaMelo's going 3.
Competitive spirit of the Ball brothers, I would say, that after Lonzo gives him his time in the sun, probably won't let him forget that.
One dude back there looks kind of like a young LaMelo a little bit.
Basketball fans have become quite familiar with. Both parents played basketball in college. Lonzo and LeAngelo, both professional players as well. It has been a long and winding road for LaMelo to get to the NBA.
What do you guys think of the Ball family? What do you guys think of LaMelo?
Chino Hills, I'm 35 and 0. After that, Chino Hills began sophomore year. And then left junior year, went to Lithuania. Came back, Pops created the league, did that in the States, and then had an all-star team. Then went overseas again, all overseas. And then Cleveland, went from there, and then Australia. Every time I go overseas, I feel like I learn something. So just pretty much with that, the whole living conditioning too, and playing on and off the court, I feel I learned.
This is where it's going to get interesting, because we don't exactly know what the Bulls are going to do it for.
Talk about a slow build, but they may have a start, Mike.
Well, LaMelo's
If I'm the Bulls, I'm going with Halliburton.
He's going to be one of the best passers in the entire NBA from day one. He can do it from all different angles, behind the back, plays with a ton of flair, but he's really smooth. With
So looking at the Charlotte roster now.
He can change speeds, he can change directions. He's really, really shifty. Much
I mean, you got to put Ball at the 1. You got Terry Rozier. Got to put. I would have him at the backup. I would move Devontae Graham to the 2. Miles Bridges at the 3. P.J. Washington at the 4. Cody Zeller at the 5. That front court, that front court is looking rough. That front court is looking rough. Then off the bench, besides Terry Rozier, you got Dwayne Bacon, Malik Monk, the Martin twins, Batum, McDaniels, whose brother will actually get drafted at some point tonight. Charlotte's got lots of holes to fill. Charlotte just needs to take the Oklahoma City plan of rebuilding.
LaVar Ball, the Carolina Panthers. Wasn't it LaVar that said he could beat Michael Jordan in a one-on-one game? LaVar said a lot of things. So I'm just saying, now I have a chance to say something.
Yep, LaVar, he's got one son in New Orleans. He's got one son in Charlotte.
That's a great point.
It is interesting how, I'm not saying New Orleans and Charlotte are like small markets in the scheme of U.S. cities, but I mean, if we're talking NBA by comparison, they would be deemed, I guess, small markets. Interesting how the Ball brothers are in 2 of the smaller markets right now.
The star turned out this year to be Devontae Graham, who I thought he deserved Most Improved Player. It was erroneous the fact that he didn't get that award or get more votes. But still, now how do you get him involved in that offense? You have guys like, Miles Bridges, P.J. Washington, who are part of this team. You can insert him, but I still think they still have a lot more work to do as far as, how can you create plays because they're a smaller team with 2 guards and Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham.
Yeah, he's going from Yves Saint Laurent to Alexander Julian now. But he's gonna fit in well because he shares the ball and he's such a good passer and he takes pride in passing. But I do think, he's not a good shooter. He's got to improve his shooting and has to buy into defense.
Okay, you're going to hear from LaMelo Ball.
Guys, appreciate everybody tuning into the live stream tonight. Make sure, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. I don't just do live streams. In fact, I don't do too many live streams at all. But I did one the other night when the Bucks made all their moves, and it was a lot of fun. So I do basketball videos on this channel all the time.
2020 NBA Draft. The Chicago Bulls
We got-
select Patrick Williams.
Wow.
From Florida State.
Wow. Wow.
There is Patrick Williams, and he's going
Wow.
to Chicago to play for Billy Donovan.
Nobody saw this coming not even 2 weeks ago.
He's put a number of
Maybe not even a week ago.
hard-working guys into the league.
Wow.
This will be the next one. Perhaps you could say that Patrick Williams is a guy whose career is about to
That's a big shock to me. That's a big shock to me.
My mom actually owns her own flower shop, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, he's from Charlotte.
She's been having that business for 13 years now.
Who would have thought he would have gone before Devin Vassell?
When I got my permit and my license,
Wow.
I started delivering flowers for them. I was making maybe $7 or $8 every delivery. Now I have maybe 10 deliveries a day. It was definitely feel like
So he must have killed it in interviews. And I guess teams saw something in him that they loved, because there was talk that Detroit had promised him at number 7.
you might have to turn the heat on his back.
Wow.
To my new teammates, if you ever need help with any type of
Number 4.
I'm your guy.
Wow.
He's really been able to blossom as a player.
I mean, some people are saying he can be like the new Kawhi or Kawhi-esque. I mean, only averaged 9 points in college. One of the youngest guys in the draft. I think the youngest college guy in the draft. I think it's Pokuševski, Patrick Williams, and then Anthony Edwards, 3 youngest dudes in the draft this year. Wow. Huh.
Cavaliers on the clock, but now we go to Diana Taurasi.
Okay.
Sat down with Patrick Williams.
Let's add Patrick Williams to the
I think you'll bring to whatever team drafts you.
I think for sure versatility.
to the Bulls roster.
Plays at any position you put me at.
So they got Otto Porter Jr. at the 3 spot right now.
I'm allowing them to make sure that
They can't wait to get rid of him,
You have to be yourself.
in my opinion.
Guess what? Everyone else is taken.
I thought for sure they'd do a playmaker. I thought for sure they would.
No, you. Thank you, AT.
So at the 1, they got Saturansky. Kobe White, Archidiakono, Levine and Valentine at the 2, Porter, Patrick Williams, Chandler Hutchison at the 3, Markkanen, Thad Young, Daniel Gafford at the 4, Wendell Carter, Cristiano Felicio, and Luke Cornett at the 5.
Basketball family, your siblings,
Billy Donovan, new
your
coach.
Parents played at an HBCU. What does it mean to share this moment?
Interesting. That's for sure. I did not expect Patrick Williams to go 4.
Sure. First, I'm just blessed. Feel blessed to be in this position.
Like, I heard the rumors about it earlier, but didn't think it would happen.
Blessed, dreams bigger than draft night. The draft night for sure is. I'm grateful for it for sure, but there's work to be done. I'm just excited to go to Chicago and put in as much work as I can, learn as much as I can, and just be great. Be great.
Being great is good. You are the second youngest
Just want to read some of
player
these
in the
comments
draft
about when
for a
Woj
single
mentioned
game.
this, what people were saying about it. So
What
Woj tweeted
gives you the
about how the Bulls were targeting Patrick Williams. First comment, is he any good?
The work that you put in. If you put in enough work day to day, you can't have nothing but confidence. And then I just give the credit to my college teammates, my college coaches. They continue to encourage me all season, to put me in positions.
Yeah,
To
who
succeed all season. So
who saw this coming with Patrick Williams? Who saw this coming?
my coaches and teammates.
Absolutely, and I look forward to seeing the work that you say you want to continue to put in, waving at everyone in the back there. Reese, back to you.
I love that smile over the shoulder. Isn't we get a smile like that from Patrick? I bet we will soon. Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay, Cavs up next. You know they're going to go with Obi. If they don't pick Obi, I got a lot of Cavs fans on this channel.
First pick in 2020 NBA draft. The Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards.
We got commercials. All right.
My grandmother's right here, and my mother's right here. I'm with me at all times.
Hey, yo, welcome to the new Chris Paul workout show. You want to make
All right, let's meet the commercials. Somebody just said, what am I thinking for Cleveland? I think Obi. Obi Toppin, a.k.a. Ob-Top, a.k.a. Obi-Wan Toppin-Obi. Obadiah Toppin. He is going 5. That is my prediction. And that's not who I would pick. I think Obi definitely has a higher floor, but I don't think his ceiling is that high. I think there's other guys who definitely have more potential than him. Defense is going to be an issue. Is Obi the most ready to contribute? Yeah, I think Obi can definitely contribute. Obi could get Rookie of the Year for sure. And I've been reading things where they say that his lateral quickness has improved. His defense looks to be improving from where he was in college. I hope that's the case. If so, that definitely bodes well for him in the NBA. It's one of those things where we got to wait and see, though. If I was Cleveland, I would maybe even try and swing for the fences with Deni at 5. Maybe Vassell. I think Vassell could fit in for them at the 3. Maybe fill that Chris Middleton role at some point. Cleveland needs an identity. They need to figure out what they're doing over there. They need to figure it out because I don't see their backcourt working long term. I don't see defense at all. I really like Kevin Porter Jr.'s game. Not sure where he fits as far as whether it's a starter coming off the bench. I mean, if he's a starter, would he move Sexton to the bench? Okay, here we go.
With the 5th pick in the the 2020 NBA Draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Isaac Okoro.
Isaac Okoro.
Auburn University.
It's not Optop. My wife just walked in and
What was
joined
the
me
big
for the
surprise?
seat. So, Patrick Williams went number 4. Yeah,
Who's he?
exactly. Who is he?
Did you do a story on him?
I didn't do an official video on him.
You might have to now.
You can get a little closer so they can hear you talk. You won't be in it, but they'll be able to hear you better. They'll hear us converse. Come on. So
Look at that.
I know he's got
Very
that.
fancy hair.
He's got that suit, huh?
Yeah. The hair is really unique.
Yeah. So Patrick Williams was. He was not really on anybody's. I mean, he was on the radar as far as a first round guy, but he wasn't really on anybody's radar for. I think it's good. If it's too loud, if I'm too loud, if the TV's too loud, let me know. I'll turn it up. But Patrick Williams just kind of came out of nowhere. I'd heard earlier this week that Detroit was going to give him had promised him they were going to pick him at 7. Then I heard how other teams were trying to move up ahead of that 7 pick so they could pick him.
Man, how did he become the belle of the ball?
Well,
so quickly?
he's young.
Young.
I was saying on the live stream, I bet he had really good interviews. Rod says audio's good. Hey, if Rod says it, then
If Rod's down.
if Rod says it's good, then Rod, can you hear Caitlin when she talks? That's the question.
Hi, Rod.
What are the Cleveland Cavaliers getting in Isaac Okoro?
Where is it? This guy looks like he's reporting in Baghdad.
He's on top of a building.
Oh, that's Bruce Pearl. I didn't even recognize Bruce Pearl.
He can guard 1 through 5. In other words, you
Bruce
can-
Pearl's got a beard now.
And he switches up on the inside.
Rod says hi, loud and clear. I've noticed Rod. Rod will comment on
Rod's on
some.
the ball.
Rod is on the ball. Rod will comment on a lot of videos I've noticed.
Drive it, or he's going to move it along. And he's going to do what the coach asks him to do. You know?
Bruce Pearl is one of those college coaches who he's very bombastic.
Yeah.
Kind of like in that John Calipari vein as far as kind of like his showmanship, maybe kind of bordering on maybe like snake oil salesman, maybe a little bit.
That's a good balance.
Yeah, but he's been successful as a college coach. I like him a lot. When they had that Memphis opening, I was kind of hoping they might get Bruce Pearl back in the day.
He lives in the gym. He's got really good form. He's got a reason.
Oh yeah, I got to update my roster. Okay, Isaac Okoro going to Cleveland.
Where'd Ant-Man go?
He went number 1.
Even though that article said he was sabotaging himself, right?
He went number 1.
To whom?
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay, well, I think this helps Cleveland as far as giving them kind of a bit of an identity. I was saying a second ago, they need like a defensive identity because with the guys they have on the roster,
No.
no.
That's right, Isaac.
Oh, here we go. Let's see what IO has to say.
Basketball player in Auburn's history. What is it about your time there?
It's like a smoking jacket.
Yeah, right? It's like he's about to head over to the grotto.
Yeah.
It looks like you were having quite the party back there. A phrase that is often used.
Yeah, so Cleveland now, they got Colin Sexton, Darius Garland in the backcourt, Kevin Porter Jr., Dante Exum backing them up. They got Isaac Okoro now. I figure he'll slide into that starting 3 spot. Jetty Osman, Dylan Windler, Alonzo McKinney at the 3 as well. Then at the 4, Kevin Love, Larry Nance, Dean Wade.
So has anyone been left out, like as a surprise, that you thought would go earlier?
No, of course, Deni was getting buzz as
Deni
a
Avdija.
yeah. He was getting buzz as a top 5 pick. He
Hasn't been picked
has
up.
not been picked. They've only done 5 picks so far.
Isaac, thank you very much.
And then at the 5 for Cleveland, Andre Drummond, Jordan Bell. Atlanta is next on the clock.
Atlanta.
Who's Atlanta going to pick? I don't know.
I think a player like Onyeka Okongwu, to be honest, they need some defensive help there. They need a defensive identity. And I think
So I heard news today that, this is for the guys on the stream, I heard news today that Danilo Gallinari and Rajon Rondo are both potentially, like, sources say, going to be signing with Atlanta in free agency, which would be interesting, especially because Gallinari said that he was going to prioritize winning over money for who he signs with. And Atlanta has not been the franchise synonymous with winning over the last few years.
Tired of winning?
Yeah, they're over winning. They're tired of it. Yes, they've been winning so much.
He's a great defensive player. His ability to block shots and rebound at a high level. But
So when I type in NBA draft stream into YouTube, my video is one of the top ones.
Very nice.
That's
What have other
nice.
people been saying?
Okay, let's see what Atlanta says.
With the 6th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Onyeka
Here you
Okongwu
go.
Okongwu.
from the University
Wow.
of Southern California.
I have no idea what they're doing with that pick. No idea.
Okay, so like this is completely, they're doing like very virtual things. It's not like back in the day where they were all in one big room, right?
Right, because they can't do that.
Because of the corona.
Yeah. That's very surprising too. Oh,
He has another smoking
he's
jacket.
got the tears.
What is up with the red smoking jackets?
Well,
It's like they all called each other.
it's Hawks colors at least. Huh. This is, I don't know what Atlanta's doing with this pick.
You disagree with it?
Well, I just don't see how Okongwu fits on this roster.
Maybe they'll trade him.
I think that could be a definite possibility. Yeah. This gives Atlanta 5 centers now.
My older brother was my best friend, and basketball was one.
Okay, and Okongwu, he was LaMelo's high school teammate, you know.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
They were very good friends.
When you see him,
Where's
energy in
LaMelo
the
now?
room, just
He
the
down there?
uplift.
LaMelo got drafted by Charlotte.
He was going to go to Loyola Marymount.
What number was he?
I didn't see who did. I'm sorry, what now?
He
No,
was 17
go
years
ahead.
old,
No, go ahead.
13.
I said what number was
He was
LaMelo?
pick number 3 to Charlotte.
Back home.
So I just saw a comment. I didn't know who said it. I didn't know if it was something that has happened or if it's a rumor or what. But they were saying Hayward from Boston, and this would make sense. This would make sense.
I'll explain more.
Um,
And you see right here, my bracelet.
Sending Hayward
It should not be.
from Boston to Atlanta for Okongwu
Looking down.
because Atlanta's wanting Hayward. That's potentially that would make sense. That would make sense. Boston could really use Okongwu. They could really use Okongwu because right now with Atlanta, you got Trae Young at the 1, Cam Reddish at the 2, DeAndre Hunter at the 3, John Collins at the 4, then at the 5, Clint Capella, Okongwu, Bruno Fernando, Dwayne Dedmon, Damian Jones, 5 centers. Even like 3 centers is too much in today's NBA.
You've done some extensive interviews where you've never once
Then if they end up getting Gallinari
said that you
and
don't
Rondo,
like
that would be some nice free agent pickups for Atlanta.
But now you have a promise.
They also
from the
have,
NBA team that you
Kevin
are
Herter,
going to play in the NBA.
Skal
What does that
Labissiere,
mean
DeAndre Bembry.
I don't even know what to say right now, man. I'm just so blessed just to be in this position. I work my tail off to be here. And I'm just happy that God's able to put me where I'm
Heard somebody whispering over. Did you hear that? Yeah.
I want to talk to Mom, Kate. Your family has gone through an unthinkable
Kate
tragedy.
Okongwu.
And yet here you are.
If you married
And then you've
Okongwu,
got-
you'd be
what
Caitlin
do you want
Okongwu.
him
I
to
would.
remember most about today?
Always
She's crying too.
to be himself and
I'm crying,
not to
you're
forget
crying.
where
Yeah.
he's from. And
Guys, anybody home crying with this emotional night?
and just to be who he is. Continue to be who he is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there were rumors that Okongwu might slip a little bit in the draft due to a broken toe in his foot, but has not hurt him.
What happened to Wiseman?
He went number 2 to Golden State.
Wow,
He
Golden
did.
State's gonna be cray.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
you have a feeling, a little insight as to which team might be happy to select him, and the Hawks are putting together quite
Alright,
a
well, I'll
collection
leave you
of young
to your
talent.
friend.
Oh, stay.
No,
Stay.
I don't wanna intrude.
No, you're fine.
That
You
pick
can stay.
again, here's the
You stay.
commissioner.
All right, Detroit.
With the 7th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Killian Hayes.
Killian Hayes. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
Killian Hayes, with his first
No smoking jacket for him.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Killian getting his moment, and he is headed
You didn't get the email.
Guess not.
Casey and company trying to find some guys to build a franchise around. What do you think of his pick, Mike?
He's extremely crafty. He's one of the best.
Crafty.
pick and roll
Yeah, I like Killian Hayes. I like him as a
size at 6'5".
as a player.
Point guard of the future, a guy that they can hand the keys to and say, be the engine for us.
Killian Hayes from
The playmaker,
France. Most recently played in Germany.
man, he can pass it off the dribble with either hand on the move, tremendous in transition, does a great job of using his body as well. He's not the most athletic guy, but he's extremely
All right, let's update that those rosters.
Russell at times. Now he needs to improve as a perimeter shooter. Only 27% from three over the course of his career, but there's a lot to like about his long-term upside.
For Killian Hayes, who at times wanted to
Detroit's going to have the French connection. They got Hayes. They got Sekou Doumbouya.
as well. Dad wanted to forge a
They got Luke Kennard, Tony Snell,
being the 7th
Blake Griffin,
of the Pistons, and now
Christian Wood, who I assume will be re-signed.
with the 8th overall pick.
Then on the bench, Rose, Derrick Rose, Kyrie Thomas, Svi Mikhailuk,
Headline, just out
who's a KU guy,
didn't last.
Rock shot.
Ended up
Svi Mikhailuk.
some high-profile free agents that really wouldn't give them the
Yeah, Killian Hayes with that Dragic comp. I would definitely agree with that. Actually, I said a little bit of the same thing when I did a comparison video. Then also Doumbouya, they just traded for Musa Thonmaker on the bench. So New York next at pick number 8. Knicks fans, we don't have a ton of people watching the feed right now, but Knicks, if there's any Knicks fans, let me know. We got lots of Knicks fans on this channel.
It's still
There's Tyrese Halliburton. He likes blonde women too.
Kind of a smoking jacket again.
Yeah.
they need
He
somebody
likes blonde women too. Is that what you said?
Uh-huh.
everybody else easier.
In addition to you?
In addition to me. But then we have
Prospect, I think Tyrese
with New
Halliburton.
York.
The other I would consider is
I would assume they're gonna go Obi Toppin,
another guy whose long arm can
Ob
defend.
Ob Top,
And I think has been
aka Obi-Wan Topnobi,
But Deni Avdija is
aka
as well. So their number
Obadiah Toppin.
8. Because of some of the surprises we've seen, New York's.
So you got to think they're gonna go Obi Toppin for pick number 8.
What's been the biggest surprise so far from what you've seen?
Um,
7 picks.
I think Hayes going above
To go with Barrett,
Halliburton is a bit of surprise.
Robinson.
Halliburton is a projected top 5 pick. He's a top 5 prospect for me, and so I think he would fit perfectly, like you guys said, alongside R.J. Barrett.
The thing about the Knicks, yeah, they had a lot of power forwards, but Bobby Portis has that team option for $15 million. You got to think he'll be released.
All this talk you hear,
New York, it's like, oh, bring Russell Westbrook.
Then they had those other guys. Then Taj Gibson, who's I think is more of a 5 at this point. He'll back up Robinson.
the draft, and you take your time. You stay the course.
You mentioned Patrick Williams, and if it's Devin Vassell, Florida State would have 2 then in the top.
Then of
3.
course they'll have
Direction, Patrick Williams, going forward.
Kevin Knox, Julius Randle, who will be traded at some point, I would assume.
With Tom Thibodeau there, any concerns about dealing with.
You got Reggie Bullock, Wayne Ellington,
Sometimes that's been challenging.
Frankie Smokes, Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns has spoken
Frankie
up about other
Smokes?
players
Well, he's a French point guard. His last name is Ntilikina, which sounds kind of like nicotine.
Oh,
So his nickname is Frankie Smokes.
that's fun.
Yeah, I like that too.
Leon Rose and the pieces they have around, you feel like everything's moving in the right direction. I do feel that Tibbs, is a guy that wants to lead, and I think he can lead the right way. There's no doubt about it.
That's the really hard thing about the draft.
GT Black says, any thoughts on a good spot for Chris Dunn? I like him with Atlanta because they need a backup for Trae Young. Even though Chris Dunn isn't your typical backup point guard, he can still play that spot, and he's a good defender.
Sometimes
I like him for
you have the talent that Patrick Ewing has.
Minnesota. Could use him. They need some defense. Washington could use him. They need some help behind Wall and also some defense there too.
Spotlight that is inherent with playing in New York City. The pick is now in for the Knicks.
All right, let's see what the Knicks say.
The commissioner, Adam Silver.
Yeah, I don't know why Chicago didn't pick up Dunn's option.
With the 8th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Obi Toppin
Obi Toppin.
from Dayton University.
Obi's got somebody on the screen.
He has a smoking jacket kind of as well. It's just darker. They all have like they
Well,
all went
I
to the
think-
same designer.
I think that tells you what I need for my Christmas present.
It's already ordered.
Yeah.
Turning the career of Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin.
Likely regarded as
When was a guy from University of Dayton drafted? That's the question.
high school. He is absolute showtime. He didn't
Look at these Obi highlights,
He
baby.
won scholarship offers. He went on to win the Wooden Award. It took him a while to be able to fly high enough to do some of these things that we've been able to enjoy. It wasn't always about playing above the rim.
I didn't start dunking until later in life.
Oh, nice. On his little kid's
Little
hoop.
baby Obi didn't dunk until he was a senior in high school. I had the little baby rims that I was dunking on, and it took a while for me to.
Tibbs gonna have Obi playing
So me going from
40-something minutes a night, yeah.
6'5", me being able to dunk my senior year.
I bet Knicks fans are really happy with Obi. I think it's a good pick. I think he fits well with Mitchell Robinson. He'll have that defender next to him. Maybe Obi will show that his defense isn't as bad as it could be,
To a team, put it on
or that a lot of people say it is.
everybody. I wasn't always this good at dunking.
That was a long comment and it went away really quick. So whoever sent that, if they went, I didn't read it all in time. So if the live stream only keeps the comments on for a second before they go away.
How many picks are in the first round?
30 picks. 30 picks in each round. 60 picks total.
5 years ago that you would be an NBA player.
Somebody's in front of Obi's camera. They got to move him out of there. We go. I think Pops was in the way.
I wouldn't believe her. I
He's the
swear
first
I wouldn't believe
round
her.
of tears I've seen.
No, Okongwu.
Did I see tears?
He had the waterworks going. Oh yeah, big time though. Wow, look at Obi.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to be sorry.
Knicks fans, that's the kind of guy you want on your team.
It was an April
Yeah.
Fool's joke. How do you process this leap that you've made that has catapulted you to be an NBA lottery pick?
Right.
All right, don't be a stranger.
I
Do you need
wanna thank
anything?
God.
No,
You
you
good?
need
I
anything.
would not be
I'm good.
here. Without my parents, I wouldn't be here. Without my
Wrong.
teammate right here today,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here. I appreciate you, bro. Jalen Cruncher, shout out to Jalen Cruncher.
Amari 2.0. I mean, could be.
Right here in the back, Coach Grant.
He's an athletic freak.
Coach Greer, I would not be here without them, so I'm very grateful, and it's a blessing to be in this position. So
If being drafted wasn't special enough, yep, that's right. Point to that hat one more time. You are coming home. Why is it so important to you to be putting on a Knicks jersey?
That's right, I forgot. He has New York connections.
now, yes, ma'am.
Why is it so important to you to be putting on that jersey?
I'm from New York. That's why it's important. Me repping my city is.
Yes, Wizards next pick.
A lot of people
Yeah, Deni is sliding, yeah.
And I'm not going to take him for granted.
Yeah, so the Wizards, they were wanting Okongwu for sure. They were wanting Okongwu.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. Hopefully we get to see you at Dykeman or one of those parks on the street.
You got to think, what are the Wizards going to do now? Because when you look at big guys, I mean, Okongwu and Wiseman, those were the two big ones.
Dunker's Delight from the And One mixtape tour. Avery Wojnarowski joins us.
Oh, we got Woj.
On Obi Toppin and the Knicks selection at number 8.
Reese, as emotional as Obi Toppin was to be drafted by the Knicks, they really, really wanted him. They had thought they might need to move up in this draft. They worried Cleveland might take him at number 5.
I thought that.
But as it turns out, he got to them. This is a player that Leon Rose, the new president of basketball operations, had targeted, had wanted all along.
It's a good pick because he's not going to be a bust. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Halliburton. That would be a good pick.
This was for the Knicks exactly how they hoped to script it.
Yeah, he's not going to
I
bust.
just have one other thing. First of all, thanks, because I was so afraid you were about to tell me the pick was on the move. Thanks for not doing that. And you said the mighty Atlantic 10. Is there another institution that you're fond of that's in the Atlantic 10?
Yeah, my St. Bonaventure Bond.
Gosh, Woj always talking about St. Bonaventure. My goodness.
All right, Woj giving us a great insight on why the Knicks have chosen Obi Toppin, who grew 7 inches from his junior year in high school to what he is now.
Yeah, he was a 6'2" guard in high school.
Man.
He's an explosive athlete that can finish at the basket with either hand. A rim runner.
Who grows 7 inches between junior and senior year of high school? Come on. Okay, hypothetically, Deni is the player a whole bunch of scouts predicted in the lottery, and he falls out. Can Miami get him? Dallas, Portland, Brooklyn. I don't see Deni falling out of the lottery. No, I don't. Let's see who. Let's look at the picks. Let's see where Deni. I don't see Deni falling. Well, Deni definitely won't fall past the Spurs. I don't think.
The only question is his lateral quickness getting out to guard pick and roll.
Yeah, I think 11 is probably Denny's floor with San Antonio. I think Phoenix will probably go with Vassell. I think Washington will do Halliburton. I think Phoenix will do Vassell. Let's see who Wizards have.
Ninth pick in the 2020 NBA draft. The Washington Wizards select Deni Avdija.
No, they got Deni. Okay, there we go.
So Deni Avdija, the guy we've talked about a lot in our coverage.
Deni got picked.
Draft goes in the top 10, 9th overall to the Washington Wizards.
He went to Washington at 9.
At the age of 16. You talked a lot about him.
All right, Deni. Well, hey, that's good for Washington because they need that extra playmaker.
To be honest, I think Deni Avdija, when we look back 5 years from now, we're going to see a guy who could be the best player even to come out of this draft. And it starts with his basketball IQ and his versatility. He's tremendous in the open court, and he has great size, 6'10". He's a fiery competitor, 225 pounds. He's tremendous getting downhill to his right. He's great attacking closeouts. He can really facilitate, and an underrated defender as well. He's very multi-positional on that end of the floor. And
So you got John Wall, you got Brad Beal, you got Deni Avdija at the 3, Rui Hachimura at the 4, still got Thomas Bryant at the 5. I mean, he's okay. But Deni, he can be that secondary playmaker for John Wall. Maybe allow Wall to focus on scoring a little bit when he's in there. I like that. Got Ish Smith as a backup, Drone Robinson, Isaac Bonga, Troy Brown, Admiral Schofield, Mo Wagner backing up Hachimura, and the guy backing up Bryant, Pacenix. I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Yugoslavia national team player and played also a lot of years in Israel. My dad was never my coach. We didn't really get along on the court. I was just getting into basketball, and I remember I missed like 4 shots in a row.
No trades in the top 10. Not so far, as I mentioned before. I don't know. I think things are lining up for Atlanta and Boston to somehow do an Okongwu Hayward trade of some sort. I don't know exactly what, but I could see that somehow happening. I don't exactly know what those pieces would be, but that wouldn't surprise me. What do we think of Deni's glasses?
What does it mean to you to be the highest ever drafted Israeli prospect?
I mean, first of all, it means a lot for me. Israel is a small country, didn't provide as many NBA players.
I like Theo over Quickly.
Being the highest spot possible. That's amazing.
I think they're both going to be backups. I think Quickly is more of a two-guard, just a DeAnthony Melton, Tony Allen type defender kind of player, but with a good shot. But I don't know how much of a point guard he is right now. But I like Maladon. But even still, he's going to be a career backup, I think.
I truly love him. I love the support. I'm going to make you proud. I'm going to work 100%.
Didn't he going to drink all that wine tonight?
So thank you for
Gosh.
all the support
Oh, well,
in this fast season.
he's not 21. I'm not sure what the drinking age is in Israel, though.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
your
what
time.
are they doing? They're like in a wine cellar?
Wine behind them to celebrate.
Yeah, right?
But you might as well celebrate. It is quite worthy of celebration.
Deni stole the glasses from the Golden Girls. Lovely. Yeah, it reminds me of that Seinfeld episode. Those are where George wears the ladies' glasses. Yeah, I like what Washington's doing. I really do. I do.
Top perimeter defender Devin Vassell of Florida State. His teammate Patrick Williams has already gone off the board at 4th overall to the Chicago Bulls. And the top scorer, Cole Anthony, who had an injury-riddled, up-and-down season from North Carolina, who will take the former Tar Heel.
Okay, who was I wrong about? Was the question? That's a good question. Who were some guys I was wrong about in the draft who I thought would bust out? Well, let's look at some old drafts just for fun and see. Let's since it takes a few years, let's just start at like 2015, for instance, and see who we got. I thought Jahlil Okafor would be really good. I did. I knew Cauley Stein would be terrible. I knew Stanley Johnson would be terrible. I thought Justice Winslow would be a lot better, to be honest. Miles Turner, I thought he'd be pretty good. I actually saw him when I was in Chicago one time. He was there for the pre-draft camp, and saw him walking the streets talking to his agent. Devin Booker, when Devin Booker got drafted at 13, I was like, oh, that guy's a top 5 pick. I thought he was going to be really, really good. Then, of course, as you get later on, it's more of a crapshoot. So that's 2015, 2014. I thought Jabari Parker would be good. I thought Joel Embiid would be a complete bust. I thought he was going to be the next Hasheem Thabeet. Adrian Payne, when he was drafted at 15, I was like, oh, that's a pretty good pick, because I remember what he'd done to Memphis in the tournament when they played Michigan State. So I was like, he might be pretty good. I thought James Young would be really good too, because a lot of times I think those Kentucky guys are maybe better than what they actually are. That's 2014. Let's look at 2013. Oh, 2013. That's a tough one because nobody knew anything about these players. Ben McLemore, I was pretty confident he wouldn't be any good. Whoop, draft's back. Phoenix.
Phoenix Suns select Jalen Smith.
Oh, wow.
University of Maryland.
Okay, wow. Huh. Wow.
Jalen Smith out of Maryland averaged a big double-double.
Wow, okay. Huh.
Last year was shooting about 50.
I thought he'd be a good pick for the Spurs. Interesting, interesting.
His parents were going to make sure that they attend his game because Dad spent a lot of time away as a kid.
I was originally born in Portsmouth, Virginia, due to my father being a naval officer. After a while, he was stationed in South Carolina. It was off and on sometimes because sometimes he had
That
to
is
work
an interesting
for
pick.
like months. It was tough, but he was always on the phone with us, making sure that we kept our grades up, making sure that I was taking care of my mother and sister. And he, even though he wasn't there, he made sure that he was a part
So
of it.
looking at
He kept that strict rule in the household, wake up every morning, everything is
looking at Jalen
everything's
Smith
clean
with
around the house.
Phoenix.
Now, I'm on my own.
Of course, they just got Chris Paul.
Weekends and I start cleaning.
Let me move
Just
this
like
over a little.
naturally happens.
That
But
helps.
it's gonna be an amazing thing just knowing that.
What draftable point guards fit Miami's system the best and their culture? I like Tyrese Maxey. I don't know how much of a true point guard he is, but I like him just kind of as that bulldog on defense.
$1.95 is probably generous, but after moving up to 225.
As far as other point guards for Miami,
States started calling him logs. They've got a little more size.
Well, he is a talented floor spacing.
I mean, if they could get Kira Lewis, that would be really good, of course, sure. To be honest, I really like Malachi Flynn. Thoughts on Daniel Oturu? Backup big man. He's fine. He doesn't really blow my skirt up either way. I like his rebounding. Who knows? Maybe in a few years, Oturu is going to be one of those guys that is awesome. And I was like, yeah, he's going to be fine. I mean, he'll be okay. He's like Daniel Gafford to me. But yeah, I think Malachi Flynn would do really well with Miami. Trey Jones, but I think 20 is a little high for him. I figure RJ Hampton is probably too young for what they need right now, and plus I don't know how much of a true point guard he is. So if I'm Miami, I probably see them going for Tyrese Maxey if they go point guard. Because when you have Jimmy in there, he can kind of handle the ball and act as a playmaker, so the guy who you have in there at point guard doesn't have to be distributing all the time. Interesting how much both Tyrese and Vassell have fallen. That's very interesting. I mean, Tyrese, I saw him as like a potential top 5 pick. I really did. That's really interesting. I mean, as much as the Spurs don't need a guard, I think that Tyrese would be a really good pick for them. I really do. What will Boston do at 14? I could see Boston going for a guy like Sadiq Bey. I was thinking Precious, maybe not so much anymore. Maybe Sadiq Bey.
You're incredulous that Tyrese Halliburton has not been taken, and in the break I said to him, that's okay, they're just waiting to let the Spurs do it and work their magic in this area.
Okay, so let's look at Phoenix, because they just got Jalen Smith. Chris Paul, new point guard. Devin Booker, 2 guard. That's going to be an amazing backcourt. Mikal Bridges at the 3. Cam Johnson probably starting at the 4. Unless maybe they think they can start Jalen Smith at the 4. That's a possibility. I saw him more as a center. But, I mean, maybe they, let's put him at the, I saw him more as like a Miles Turner type center. But yeah, let's put him at the 4. Maybe they're going to do Jalen Smith at the 4. Then you got Cam Johnson, Saric, backing them up. Then you got Ayton with Frank Kaminsky, Cheek Diallo, backing them up.
The common thread between those two guys would be they feel like...
Yeah, I think Halliburton would do really well in San Antonio, even though I got killed when I mentioned Cole Anthony going to the Spurs, because Spurs don't need a guard. Spurs don't need a guard.
Winding down down, you see on the screen right now.
They may end up taking a guard here.
Players led by Tyrese Halliburton from Iowa State, Devin Vassell from Florida State, Anthony Neesmith and Kyra Lewis Jr., the point guard from Alabama, who has incredible speed, but not the biggest guy in the world. Will it be Halliburton that goes off the board? We're winding down for the Spurs to make their pick and are waiting to see it be a little bit longer until we get it in. You wonder if San Antonio's trying to do something with this pick or if it's just a logistical thing.
We're also looking at Devin Vassell. I think that's another guy that they need to take a long, hard look at just because of his length, his defensive versatility. He gives them a two-way guy on the wing and someone who shot over 40% from three this past season. He's a late bloomer, so they could really turn him into something down the road.
Spurs picking 11th overall and unfamiliar position coming off a season in which they didn't make the NBA playoffs. And Popovich was talking about how he didn't really care about all of the streaks that came to an end. And all
I haven't said this in a while. For anybody tuning in, if you haven't subbed to the channel, make sure you sub. I do NBA videos all the time. I don't really do live streams like this too often, but this is a big night. But NBA videos all the time, a few times a week. Here's the Spurs. Are they going Halliburton? What do we think? What do we think?
And the Spurs are doing now. They work their magic. They're taking guys Ginobili, Parker, Kawhi Leonard.
What do we think? What do we think?
The 11th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Devin Vassell.
Wow, no Halliburton. Okay, Vassell. Okay. Yeah, somebody just said, don't understand the Jalen Smith pick. I don't understand it either unless they think they can play him at the 4 along with Ayton. I guess they'll try that. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense to me either. Okay, Vassell to the Spurs. Watch Tyrese Halliburton fall out of the first round, right?
Look at the face. Look how young. What was it, 6 years ago? Guys grow up quickly these days, don't they? Elite on the front of the jersey. Elite, a good adjective for his game as well. Let's take a look at our player comparison brought to you by Dell.
Okay.
He's an analytics guy that the analytics lovers love Devin Vassell.
Yeah, his efficiency, his steal and block rates. And this
Boston, yeah, if Tyrese is there at 14, Boston will, I figure Boston will take him, yeah.
in his career, and he's exactly what the NBA
I figure they'll take him.
guys who can guard multiple positions, who can make open shots, and really
So Spurs, Murray, DeJounte Murray,
Anthony Davis.
DeMar DeRozan, who did not want to opt in, but he really didn't have any choice. He's at the 2. Vassell, I say you start him at the 3 from day 1. Trey Lyles at the 4. Ugh. Ugh. Probably the worst starting 4-man in the league. LaMarcus Aldridge at the 5. Again, the Spurs have a lot of work to do. Off the bench, Derek White, Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker, Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, Luka Samanic, Jakob Poeltl, and that other guy. I just have Metu. I can't remember his first name. With how uncommon Sacramento is as a franchise, you know, Sacramento has new leadership, and this would be the draft where they rewrite that narrative as we're an incompetent franchise, we don't know what we're doing. To be honest, the smart thing would be to get Tyrese Halliburton in there. Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox, yeah, they're two quote-unquote point guards, but I think we've seen, and I think Sacramento blew it by not taking Luka, we've seen that you can have two playmakers in there. I don't see the Spurs getting much for LaMarcus Aldridge, maybe. Really, they could probably get a first rounder for a late first rounder, maybe for DeRozan at some point. I I think Sacramento, if they can get Halliburton in there, start him with Fox, trade Heald for something, because Heald is not happy. Let's see what they do. They got to do Halliburton.
2020 NBA Draft. Sacramento Kings select Tyrese.
There it is. Yeah.
from Iowa
Yeah,
State
that's the smart move. That's really the smart move. Look at that suit. Look at that suit.
The best guards are in the draft, and look, the reality for the Sacramento Kings is you're not sure if De'Aaron Fox wants to be there long term. You're not sure if Brett
Yeah,
wants to be there.
I think you can have a future backcourt of Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. I really think so. I really think so.
They've got a new general manager in Sacramento, and Monty McNair, who loves the analytics. Is this a perfect fit for their philosophy now?
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect fit alongside De'Aaron Fox.
Assuming the
An unorthodox player. He's not really a
assuming the trade with Bogdanovich and Milwaukee goes through, because from what I was reading, it might be a little bit up in the air.
players in the entire NBA. So I think
Fox, Halliburton, DiVincenzo, that's a nice three-guard lineup there. Buddy Hield, great player, of course. I'm dubious as to if Buddy Hield will stay on the roster for too much longer.
assists a game makes everybody around him better.
Bagley, Bielitsa, Barnes,
Going to the Kings, Bobby Martin,
Jabari Parker,
was just balling
Rashawn Holmes,
probably
Corey Joseph.
of his family example.
Young team,
This is my pops on TikTok. Man is a fool.
but I think when a guy like Halliburton slides like that, you got to pick him. You got to. He's best available, and I think he fits a need, whether you put him at the backup point guard,
Freshman year at Howie, they
whether you do something with Hield and put him at the 2.
somehow this guy gets picked. He's out there shooting three.
Halliburton makes a lot of sense, I think, with Sacramento, especially at that 12th pick.
Inquired about him. He's too busy celebrating to get off the court. My dad was a big Magic Johnson fan. He showed me a lot of those clips growing up, just because of the joy that Magic played with. You know, my dad instilled that in me at a young age.
Guys, I've been enjoying doing this live stream. If it's your first time here, if you're just coming along on the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Do videos like this all the time. Maybe not live streams, but NBA related videos. About 9,700 subs right now. We're about 300 away from 10,000. Looking to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month.
By Tyrese and your time spent.
Then on the road to 20K, 30K, 50K, 100K.
In the interview, and in my 25 years working in the NBA,
Still no trades yet.
Interview that I've ever gone through. High basketball IQ, a great kid. Sacramento's got a steal here, and this kid is going to be in the league for 15 years. So, congrats to Tyrese. Congrats to the Sacramento Kings, because right now they are the winners of the night so far.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
This is a guy that we saw really improve at Iowa State.
Tyrese is, I think he fits like a glove with Sacramento. I really do.
He led the Big 12 in assists.
That's an A+ draft.
Just continues to grow in the Iowa State point guard, now former Iowa State point guard with Pelinka.
Tyrese, your mom, Brenda. There you are. Your mom, Brenda, traveled to every single one of your collegiate games, and by all accounts, you get your personality and charisma from your dad. What does it mean to share this with them?
It's an amazing night. It's really fun. I'm in the perfect spot. Sacramento's the perfect spot for me.
Woj says that New Orleans is discussing trade scenarios with the number 13 pick. Sorry, that comment clicked off real quick. Whoever sent it, if you want to pop it back up, I missed it.
One of your coaches at Iowa remembers your father giving you some advice, and that was to seek out the best player on any team that you were on. How are you going to do that with the Kings?
I'm just ready to
What do you guys think of Tyrese's suit?
create relationships with these
I
guys.
love it.
You know, and bring Sacramento back.
Do you think more teams selling draft picks in the future? Like, oh, do you?
And we just
No,
saw
I
your father
don't.
sing your praises. I
Um,
gotta say, your suit might be the best one in the draft so far. Can
Are you talking about? Are you talking about what? Oh, I know what you mean. You're talking about the second round pick from that Houston did. Yeah, people sell draft picks every year, especially second round.
And obviously with what's everything that's going on, I will.
Yeah, selling draft picks in the second round is nothing new. We'll probably see a few more tonight. Actually, I think the price of $4 million, I think 4.6 million. That's a little steep for selling a draft pick. But if it's that important to him, hey, go for it. It's not my money, right? Yeah, the 4.6 million. I think that. Yeah, I think that's a little steep for a second round pick. I guess there's somebody there that they think's going to be there that they really like. I guess, but also I think they were also doing that that Ariza trade, and that helps them to get the money so they can do mid-level now. I read that earlier. If I'm remembering it correctly. That reminds me, I need to update my my Houston roster actually. Put Ariza on Detroit.
But you got to give David Griffin a lot of credit, him and Trajan Langdon, for what they've been able to do, getting Zion in the draft, but also moving the lot of pieces around to get Brandon Ingram.
Man, does Ariza even play for Detroit? Is he just like 15th man behind Snell and Mikhailuk? You got to think, right?
The ball in his hands to be effective. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in this draft. Shot over 40% from three, and has that Villanova edge to him that I think will really help them defensively.
Zion Williamson last year going to the New Orleans Pelicans. As Jay mentioned, Drew Holiday has moved on, or going to move on officially to Milwaukee as the Bucks try to get some help for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they're going to try everything around Zion now and try to find the complementary pieces that can make New Orleans a contender. Just a few seconds away from the Pelicans turning in their pick. And if you're looking at this, what kind of player would fit well with Zion Williamson?
Someone who can stretch the floor and stretch a defense. And one of those guys would be the best shooter in the draft, Aaron Nesmith of Vanderbilt. He was in
Yeah, who does New Orleans go with?
Really shoot.
Maybe Kier Lewis Jr. Getting that help for Zion, or help or replacement for Drew Holiday, and he can stretch the floor a little bit too. All right, New Orleans.
With the 13th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Pelicans select Kyra Lewis Jr.
Kier Lewis, yeah.
University of Alabama.
Said his name wrong, that's all right. Kier Lewis. Is it Kyra? They're saying Kyra. I thought it was Kira this whole time. Maybe it's Kyra. Maybe I'm wrong.
Primary asset and attribute, he just had to lead speed.
Pure speed, just a blur with the basketball in his hands, and not just in a straight line. He can change speeds, but really gets down the floor. Elite in transition, an excellent finisher. He's got a Euro step. He can go off of his off foot. Good in the pick and roll, and also has a...
Yeah, I think Kier Lewis is going to be really good. Okay, Boston on the clock at 14.
He's still young. When he first got...
Probably Sadiq Bey.
Recruited him to Alabama. He stepped on campus as a 16-year-old. So still a young player, but very humble and a really hard worker.
Here's the draft headquarters for the Pelicans in Metairie as they celebrate. Jay mentioned how young he is. Kyra just turned 19 in April. He'll go down now and play alongside Zion Williamson with the Pelicans.
Yeah, probably Sadiq Bey.
Boston Celtics are on the clock. We'll see what the city's doing when we come back.
Okay, so now we got for New Orleans. Gosh, they got so many guards now. Goodness gracious. New Orleans. Lonzo, Bledsoe, George Hill, Kira Lewis, all at the point guard. 2 guard, J.J. Redick, Josh Hart, Nikhil Alexander-Walker. At the 3, Brandon Ingram, Darius Miller. At the 4, Zion, Nicola Melli, Jackson Hayes at the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They only have 3 roster spots, and they got tons of second-round picks, too. So it'd be interesting to see if they try to fill out some of that front court with those second-round picks. Who knows if, like, George Hill and Eric Bledsoe even make it to the start of the season. So many point guards. Wow. Ball, Bledsoe, Hill, Lewis. Goodness. Because, I mean, you know that Bring back Derek Favors. I don't see that happening. I see Derek Favors. I think Boston's a good fit. I think Utah is a good fit. I could see him going back to Utah. I mean, sure, don't rule out the Pelicans, but I think what New Orleans wants to do, especially when Zion's on the floor, they need to, which is why they signed Melly last year. They want guys who can spread the floor around him. So I would look for any sort of stretch bigs that they could potentially get. And Derek Favors is many things, but a stretch big man he is not. Aaron Baines would be a good one for them actually, if they could work out a deal with him. Potential Lonzo trade. To be honest, I think of the guys they would want to trade, Lonzo would be far on the list after Bledsoe and Hill. I would even see J.J. Redick getting moved before Lonzo. Because I think they could get a lot for J.J. Redick. And also, I think Ball last year really improved as a three-point shooter. I feel that he worked well with Ingram and Zion. If they trade Ball, I don't think it would be this year. I think that it would be after next year at the earliest, you know. Kevin O'Connor says the draft has been so dry, no dumb picks, no surprises. Yeah, kind of. And we're back.
You're able to re-sign Brad Wanamaker. So I think those are the three kind of spots that they can use some help.
Take the draft headquarters for the Celtics as they plot the next move that they'll make. As you look at this, Jay, what move would you make? Who's the best available guy in your judgment?
Best available player I have is Aaron Nesmith because of his ability to shoot the ball.
Actually, just accidentally saw who Boston and Orlando are going to pick from Shams and Woj. So I'm actually going to hide them so they don't. So I don't see them for the rest of the night. So they don't ruin it for me.
Still a young player coming out of Memphis. Jay will mention if they need a big guy, Daniel Turu of Minnesota is another guy who averaged 20 points, 11 and a half rebounds.
Guys, appreciate everybody turning out for the live feed tonight. This has been a lot of fun.
So the Celtics now, I'm told that the pick is in, 14th overall. We'll see if the Celtics continue to wheel and deal, whether the pick will be staying in Boston. They've been active in draft night in recent years. Here's the commission.
With the 14th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Aaron Nesmith.
Aaron Nesmith. That's a good pick. He's a good shooter. I like the pick. I like Nesmith a lot. I do.
That looks like on my monitor here, it looks like he has the Celtic green suit. He has 23 points a game.
Yeah, he's got his plaid Celtic suit on.
52% from three. That led the nation. Of course, his season was cut short due to a foot injury. He played only 14 games. He's got roots in the state of South Carolina, and there's been a wealth of basketball talent that has come from the Palmetto State, including Alex English and Larry Nance and Kevin Garnett. I guess Aaron Nesmith just knows that it's in the soil to play basketball in South Carolina.
My dad is like a big handyman, and so, ever since I was able to pick up a hammer, he's had me helping him out, picking up the saws.
Yeah, big thing with Aaron Nesmith, he really tumbled because he was he was injured last year,
Sixth grade, my dad.
or for a lot of the year.
6 in the morning and go
That did not help his draft stock.
from 6 to 6, which is not an easy thing to do in Charleston.
Let's update this Boston roster with Neesmith.
It definitely taught me hard work at a very early age.
Hard work is clearly in Aaron's blood, and you are sitting here with your family. Your father, Bernie, instilled in you.
Okay, so Boston. They've got a full roster, and they've got lots more picks tonight. So it's going to be interesting what they end up doing with all these picks. They're not going to keep all of them. They're going to, something is going to get traded somehow or another. Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Daniel Tice. Those are the starters. Off the bench, Carson Edwards, Marcus Smart, Neesmith, Romeo Langford, Javonte Green, Semi Ojeleye, Grant Williams, Enes Kanter, Time Lord, Robert Williams III, Vincent Poirier.
It's definitely a surreal moment.
This, well, I think this gives them the 15 roster spots, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so this gives them 15 roster spots. And they got 2 more first-round picks. They got at least a couple, 1 or 2 second-round picks.
Best shooter in the draft, averaged 23 points a game last year before he.
Yeah, I mean, Neesmith fills it up. I mean, he can stroke it from 3.
Off of screens, shooting off of screens. He's got almost 1.4 points per possession in jump shots off of screens.
Yeah, this dude is a jump shooter.
He's long-armed. You can see his improvement from last year to this year.
So yeah, there's the rumors that Hayward wants to go to Orlando. He may go to Orlando. We're getting into Pokuševski range. That we are, good sir. That we are.
I think he can become a better defender and put the ball in the deck a little bit more.
I think it makes a lot more sense Atlanta picking Okongwu if we have a Hayward trade or a sign and trade or something. Hayward opts out. Maybe he signs and trades to or opts in and gets traded. Whatever he does, I think that would make sense if they do Hayward for Okongwu, maybe one of Atlanta's bad contracts. Because there's the rumors they want to sign Danilo, they want to sign Rajon Rondo. So if you can end up getting Hayward, Rondo, Gallinari, I mean, that's an awesome free agency right there if you're able to do that. And I really love the fit Okongwu would add to Boston because he could be their inside presence kind of guy. They have shooters in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. I mean, with Smart or Neesmith, you know, you move one of those guys to the starting 2 spot. Move Jaylen Brown to the 3. Keep Tatum at the 4. I would, and Okongwu with the 5. I think that would be a really, really nice team. I see Okongwu. I know there's the Bam Adebayo comparisons. I don't see Okongwu there as a passer. But I like Okongwu as just a guy who can get buckets inside, defend, get tons of rebounds. And, you know, Daniel Tice did a yeoman's job at the 5 spot for Boston. I don't see him long-term starter. Is that true? I saw the note. Did Minnesota actually trade for Rubio? Did that happen? I saw they were in talks of it. Did that actually happen? See, I've hidden. I hid Woj, so he wouldn't ruin it for me. So I don't have him. I wish I could just like mute his draft comments. Is that true? Did Minnesota trade to get Rubio back? I saw that they were in talks, but I didn't know if it actually happened or not. Need to plug in the computer. Plug in the computer. I got so many cords. I got my phone plugged up. And my phone just fell off. Hold on. Beauty of the live stream. Okay. I've had to, my tripod, it used to have a thing that holds the thing that holds the cell phone, but I either threw it away or I was like, oh, I'm never gonna need this, but I have no idea what happened to it. So what I've had to do is, hold on, the draft is back. What I've had to do is put one of those little cell phone stands that you just put on your desk or something. And then I've got duct tape all over it. Yeah, his phone fell into the abyss. Yeah, I know, it happens. So I've had to duct tape the cell phone holder onto it. All right, 15th, Orlando.
The Orlando Magic select Cole Anthony.
Cole Anthony.
University of North Carolina.
Oh, Spike Lee's there. Spike Lee's there.
Celebrating with Cole, who, after a season at North Carolina,
I'm a big Cole Anthony fan. I like him a lot. If he, and in fact, in my Cole Anthony video that I did, I was like, he could do some good things in Orlando. They need star power, I think. And I think Cole Anthony could be a star. Just think, if Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz both realize their potential, what an awesome backcourt that would be. Let's look at this real quick. Let's see what this Orlando team would look like.
My shooting, my rebounding, and my speed.
Name of the film was Little Ballers. Sheesh. I mean, that was almost half my life. It was my mother's idea. She saw at a young age that me and a bunch of my
So,
friends just really how passionate.
oh, there is in a movie called Little Ballers from 7 years ago. Okay. Trey Jones, the best point guard in the draft. Come on. Maximum occupancy 120 says that. I respect your opinion. Is this the Tyus Jones burner account? His brother who plays for the Grizz? Okay, back to what I was saying with Orlando. Markelle Fultz at the 1. Fournier at the 2. They don't really have a 3 because they have Wesley Iwundu, James Ennis at the 3 right now. Eric Gordon at the 4 because Jonathan Isaac is going to miss next year. Al-Farouq Aminu at the 4. Oh, Cole Anthony, overtaken by emotion. Greg Anthony, too.
I struggled a lot this year.
What's he holding? It looks like a dog fire hydrant chew toy.
Hardest years of my life. I had a very blessed life. Thanks to my parents, my family, my friends, my whole support system, and
Their Wi-Fi, I think they're in Manhattan. Yeah, they're in Manhattan. Their Wi-Fi must be pretty bad over there. It's all grainy.
I struggled. I continue to struggle. I'm still struggling to this day. But I'm getting better, and it's just I'm healthy now, and I can't wait to just get out there.
Oh, it's a red speaker. Okay, well that would make sense. So it's not a dog chew toy. I don't know.
This is the absolute best.
It looks like you have a pretty fun celebration going over there.
And his hat fell off. Okay, and then Orlando, they've got Vucevic, Bamba, Kim Birch at the 5. Sadiq Bey, he is still on the board. I don't see Sadiq Bey getting past Minnesota at 17. I think that's his floor. But, oh, and then they have Terrence Ross, Melvin Frazier, backing up Evan Fournier. If I'm Orlando, I move Fournier to the 3. I start Anthony along with Fultz from day 1. I do it. the issue there is, okay, do you really have that playmaker in the backcourt?
Magic take him with the 15th overall pick in the Portland Trail.
I like his game a lot, though. I really do. I think he can be really, really good. Plus, you know, they're wanting to trade Gordon. They're...
With the 16th pick, the 2000.
Okay, okay. So that Minnesota trade did go through. Somebody said, okay, okay. Isaiah Stewart. Wow, that's really early. That's really early. This one is going to Houston, though, right? Yeah, this pick is going to Houston, right? From the Ariza trade? Ariza Covington trade?
What do you have on this pick that Portland just made of Isaiah Stewart out of Washington?
Yeah, Reese, this pick has moved around. It went from Portland to Houston and then to Detroit in a trade.
Oh, that's right, Detroit.
Stewart from the University of Washington. He's the second first-round pick by new GM Troy Weaver.
Okay, that's right, that's right. He just went to Detroit. Okay.
Before he got
I did not expect him to go so early.
Syracuse University, and Mike
Huh.
Hopkins, the Washington coach, was one of his colleagues on that staff, so he certainly
Really
had a lot of
interesting.
intel on Isaiah Stewart out of Rochester, New York. And so for Troy Weaver, he was hired from Oklahoma City based largely on the role he played in drafting a lot of very successful, high-profile, some MVP caliber players there. Detroit brought him in to start replenishing their young roster with Isaiah Stewart and Killian Hayes earlier in the lottery.
He was a second rounder in some mocks. Yeah, he was a second rounder in some of the mocks that I saw.
Just a man-child, Reese, a barrel-chested physical presence in the post.
He kind of has like that old school Zach Randolph, just big-time bruiser game. What is Detroit doing, though? Because, so they've got Blake Griffin at the 4. They've got Sekou Doumbouya at the 4. Now Isaiah Stewart at the 4. Unless they're one to put him at the 5. But then you have Christian Wood, who can play that 4 or 5 position. You have Thon Maker, who he's a backup at this point, maybe even third string, if I'm being honest. But so Stewart and Killian Hayes at picks 7 and 16. Okay. All right. I still feel like they're a little bit weak at that 3 spot. Maybe they think Doumbouya can play the 3. If there's any Detroit fans on the feed, let me know. Could Doumbouya kind of do that 3 spot role? Let me know. Yeah. Maybe they just think Blake Griffin is completely washed and he's not going to play a lot. Because, I mean, if Griffin's healthy, you got to put him at the 4, right?
Is on his way to Detroit and the Minnesota Timberwolves right now.
Yes, Ariza is at Detroit at the 3. I mean, Rod, if you're a big Ariza fan, that's cool. I'm not big on Ariza.
In the NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Alexei Pokusevski
Poku!
from Novi Sad, Serbia.
Wow, look at Poku's family there. That's cool.
From Athens, Greece, we showed you the suit that Alexei had chosen last night.
That's a very European dining room right there. It looks very European.
Stylish guy. He's a younger fellow who was a player in the draft at the age of 18. What do you got from him, Mike? Yeah, he's on the short list of...
Okay, Poku. So that would make sense. Yeah, that would... Okay, Poku to OKC. So that would make sense about the Rubio OKC trade going through. And then Woj will tell us in a second.
His agility really impressive at that size. He can shoot it off the bounce. He can shoot it off the catch. You can pick and pop into space. He can rim protect. Now he needs to get a lot tougher defensively. He's not the most physical guy.
Yeah, Poku can really drain it from 3. He's like 7-footer in like a 6'5" dude's body. or 7-foot body and a 6'5" dude, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sadiq Bey would be good for the Mavs. He really would.
17 now first-round picks they have between 2020 2026. It's just Sam Presti continues to.
Hey guys, haven't said in a while. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. Going for 10,000 subs by the end of the month. This is still one of the newer basketball channels on YouTube. One of the fastest growing basketball channels on YouTube as well. I do NBA content several times a week. You know, I've been doing a lot of draft and free agency stuff lately because that's what's been making news. But, you know, during the season, do any kind of trade rumor stuff, analysis. You know, I think a lot of the people who like this channel also like Sporting Logically's channel, AM Hoops, maybe a little bit of Flight Mike. If you follow those guys, if you're subscribed to them, make sure you sub to this channel too. Yes, winners and losers of these trades. Bruh, that's a good video idea. I've got that on my list. I also want to do like a draft grade video. I don't know if I'm gonna have it by tomorrow or not, because that's because I'm already gonna have a long night doing this, and I have like a legit 9 to 5 as well that I'm gonna have to go to tomorrow.
With the 18th pick in the 2020 NBA draft.
All right,
the
Dallas.
Mavericks select Josh Green from Sydney,
Josh
Australia,
Green.
and the University of Arizona.
Josh Green spent a lot of his childhood in Australia, but moved to
Okay, Josh Green going to Dallas. Good pick. Good pick. I like Josh Green. He's got a lot of boomer bust potential, I think. I kind of see like some Xavier Henry in him. Just like good NBA body, good size for that 2-guard spot, athletic, can shoot it a little bit, has that defensive potential. Did I say Jeff Green? If I did, somebody said Josh Green. Josh, Jeff, Steve, Mike. His last name's Green. First name Josh, from Australia. Okay, do you think James Harden in Brooklyn were to happen? It doesn't make sense because of KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Yeah, I actually mentioned that in my Bucks live stream the other day. I think that you're going to have 3 ball dominant guys. I think, for one, Brooklyn, just see how it works with Karis LeVert in there. See how it works with Jared Allen in there. You don't, like, this isn't, you're not the Miami Heat, and this isn't like 2006. You don't have to just get 3-star players, because I think the NBA's changed. Sometimes you can just do it with 2-star players and a bunch of role players and glue guys. That's a lot of big personalities. Steve Nash, I love the hire, but he's already going to be, the learning curve is already going to be steep enough for him for next year. Do you want to just add James Harden into it? That's my 2 cents. Speaking of Brooklyn and Steve Nash, okay, I'm not gonna step away, but I'm gonna do a little bit of research, see what I can find about this Rubio trade and all that. Let me see. You guys enjoying the draft so far, though? Okay, yeah, it's Woj. The Rubio trade is official.
You love me not. You love
Oh gosh, we got another trade. Okay, I think I may have seen it popped up real quick on the feed. Clippers trading Landry Shamet to the Nets for number 19.
We all look the same.
This is a 3-way deal, which includes the Pistons, Luke Kennard heading to the Clippers.
What that would be.
Okay, goodness, lot to keep up with. Okay, And Poku is going to Oklahoma City. Minnesota is getting picks 25 and 28. Okay, so let me update some of these rosters here. Let's start with the Rubio. So Rubio back in Minnesota. How about that? Rubio back in Minnesota. Okay.
These high-performance laundry pairs deliver a new level of clean. And right now at Schaefer's, buy one pet, get one free. That's a $299 value free. Hurry in for
So we got Rubio backing up Russell now. And that's good because he's a defensive guy. Minnesota needs some defense. This, for OKC, opens up SGA.
Most quality hearing aids are...
Just saw a Runza commercial. Do you guys have Runza where you live? I had never heard of it before I moved here. So we got SGA at the starting point guard in OKC now. That Lou Dort. Let's Lou Dort move back into that 2 spot. Then you've got yeah, the guys can't wear the hat of the team they're going to. I know it's one of those things where because the trades aren't official, a lot can still happen. I guess the Bogdanovich thing being an example. They can't wear their hats yet. Okay, let's put Poku. Pokushevsky. Okay, so Poku's going to be spending a lot of time in the G League affiliate. Okay, so he's getting a nice little team, though. Getting a nice little team. Okay, Woj is back. Okay, this pick's going to the Pistons now.
Trade, I'm told, among the Pistons, Nets, and Clippers. The Clippers are going to send Landry Shamet to the Nets. Luke Kennard, the guard with the Pistons, goes to the Clippers, and then that 19th pick heads to Troy Weaver in Detroit, and they have a chance.
I use Adobe Premiere to edit everything.
This young roster, they've been very high on Sadiq Bey of Villanova. That's somebody very high on their draft board. We'll see what they do here at 19.
Yeah, Oklahoma City Blue. That's their G League team, right? Okay, let's so Shamet going to Brooklyn.
With the 19th pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Brooklyn Nets select
Sadiq Bey. Another player for Detroit since they just acquired this pick. Well, I was talking before about their small forward spot. This definitely helps. These Villanova guys, they're so good. Like, they hardly ever fail in the NBA, it seems like. Bridges, Kyle Lowry, DiVincenzo. Well, Omari Spellman hasn't done that great in the league, but... Okay, and let's put Luke Kennard. Let's put Kennard on the Clippers now.
It just hurt inside. I'm like, man, my career's gonna be over like this quick. My mom doesn't know exactly how much she means to me.
They needed a 2-guard.
I care for her. I love her so much.
2-guard Kennard. So Clippers now. Pat Beverly, Luke Kennard, Kawhi, Paul George, Zubats. They need some guys on the bench. They got Lou Williams, not much else. Magruder, Terrence Mann, Jermichael Green, Kabengele. Big fan of Sadiq Bey for Detroit, though. This former Oklahoma City GM who's with Detroit now, he's been doing a nice job. Been doing a nice job.
And he rotates well. He's a good talker. He has over 70 threes, over 70 assists at 6'8". He can play all over the floor. This is a really good player that's going to play a big role for a lot of years as a starter.
Well, Jay Wright not only built a college basketball dynasty, he started a bit of a pipeline into the NBA. Look at all of these high draft picks.
How much does Shamet move the needle for the Nets? Let's look at their roster. Irving, Dinwiddie, LeVert, Shamet, TLC, Cabarrot, Kevin Durant, Bruce Brown, who they traded for, Karooks, Torian Prince, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan, Nick Claxton. Shamet can play the 1. He can play the 2. Very similar to kind of what Dinwiddie can do. You got to think if they are still targeting Harden, Shamet gives them a backup for Irving at the 1. Kind of would back up Harden at the 2. Kind of gives a 3-guard lineup of Irving, Shamet, and Harden. I don't think he moves the needle a ton. We can look at Shamet's stats from last year, just kind of see how he did. He's been traded a lot, hasn't he? Goodness, this is what, his 3rd team in like, what, 3 or 4 years? So, if you look at his career, has not shown a ton of improvement as his career has gone on. As a rookie, remember he was traded his rookie year to the Clippers in that Tobias Harris deal. Only averaged about 9 points a game. Didn't show a ton of improvement with the Clippers last year. Still about 9 points a game. His 3-point shooting actually went down. He's in that 35 to 40% range. He shoots a lot. Pretty good from the line. Doesn't do much else as far as rebounding or assists. Doesn't really get any steals. Doesn't really get any blocks. So, you know, he's a nice rotation guy, but other than that, I don't know that he really moves the needle a ton. I think that if I'm Brooklyn, I probably would have rather have had Kennard than Shamet, to be honest. If that was even possible as part of the trade. And then, you know, at pick 19, I mean, all the guys that were still on the board. Tyrell Terry, Desmond Bane. RJ Hampton, not going to help you much now, but top 5 pick potential. The comment went away real quick. I'm sorry, I missed it. But maybe they see something in Shamet. We'll see. Okay, Miami pick number 20. What do you guys think Miami's going to do?
But him not potentially being there next year, who can help you with that role? And look, you're still looking for pieces, even at the backup, power forward position. Bam Adebayo can do only so much. You need some depth at that position as well.
Okay, they've had a lot of success with Tyler Hero out of Kentucky, Bam Adebayo out of Kentucky. Don't you just take Tyrese Maxey and go, let's stick with this Kentucky thing. It's working.
But it's well, it certainly has. It has so far. Adebayo was terrific. Hero became a star, and now the Heat.
Haven't said in a while. If it's your first time here, make sure you're subbed up. Make sure you like the video. NBA videos all the time on this channel. Miami Heat. Who they got?
2020 NBA Draft. The Miami Heat select Precious Achiuwa.
Precious.
From Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and the University of...
Another Memphis guy.
Precious Achiuwa was the player of the year in the American
Tyler Hero's 14-year-old brother. Yeah, maybe. Funny. Okay, I like Precious in Miami, actually. I think that's good. Can guard potentially all 5 spots.
really helped himself with the way he started playing, the effort and the energy that he showed in the latter stages as he waits for the rest of the game catch up. Precious Achiuwa and his brother, God's gift Achiuwa, played at St. John's from 2011 to 14. I mentioned he was not only player of the year, he was also the freshman of the year, and the stats that he put up a season ago in his only season at Memphis. A really impressive guy who can do a lot.
Yeah, Precious had some good minutes for Memphis last year, especially once Wiseman was gone. He was a big focal point for them.
16 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. He can step away and shoot it. The only freshman in Division I to be player of the year and rookie of the year in his league. A relentless finisher. Goes after every loose ball. Runs, has a great motor. We talked about
Yeah, Jay Billis, Precious, really good motor because, like I said before, his defense, he's all over the court. He can throw it down. Doesn't really have range right now, but he can get some rebounds. He can get some blocks. Good defender. I think he fits that Heat culture. He's going to work really hard. I like him as that backup. I think he can back up Bam.
And their head coach is now Doc Rivers. Great Doc Rivers will join us as we continue our coverage of the
He can, they re-signed they're going to re-sign Haslam.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes.
I think he can teach him a lot as far as positioning with rebounding, just being a hustle player, getting after it, staying in the league for a long time. I think it's good that he's going to a veteran team like the Heat because they've got Iguodala on the team. They've got Olynyk on the team. They've got Jimmy Buckets on the team. And it's good. He's not going to have to contribute a lot right away, but I think he's still going to be in the position to where if he can contribute, or when he'll be able to contribute some, especially as we get toward later parts of the season once he gets more acclimated. But yeah, just a big hustle guy. Really fits that culture. I like the pick. He was even getting some lottery buzz too.
Or it might just warm your heart. Your next memory is out there. It's just waiting to be made.
Yeah, my Pokoshevsky video has been blowing up lately, and it's like it's almost 2 months old. But everybody's wanting to learn about Pokoshevsky right now, especially with this latest of what's happening with the draft. Yeah, I put my thumbnail for my... Make sure you check out the Pokoshevsky video if you haven't. But I put my thumbnail for it, Jokic meets Durant. And I think, like, his ceiling, that's true, because he's got, like, the body of Durant. He can shoot it. Durant's one of the best shooters ever, but Poku, he can extend the floor. But then he has that playmaking of Jokic, which I think is really exciting. So I think he's going to be a cool player to follow. He just needs to put on weight. Big time. Big time.
Are you ready for Monday night?
76ers on the clock with the 21st pick as we take a look at 3 to watch, brought to you by Mountain Dew. Could be that the Sixers go in the direction of one of these 3, the top shooter.
Yeah, I think Bane would be a great pick for Philly. All right, bruh. He's got school in the morning. Appreciate you tuning in the channel, bud.
Jones, the point guard from Duke, who has been a tremendous defensive player in his career. The Sixers are on the clock. Let's check in with Woj.
Reese's Sixers made a significant trade earlier today. Al Horford
to Oklahoma City.
Oh,
3
Horford.
years, $80 million left on his deal. And listen, this is a Philadelphia team now with Doc Rivers. That brings back Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson, and Oklahoma City, Vasily Micic, one of the best.
Easy for Woj to say.
26-year-old Serbian who I think the Thunder believe can be a rotation guard in the NBA, and now the count is up to 17 future first-round picks between this draft and 2026 for Sam Presti in Oklahoma City.
All right, Woj, that's what the Sixers are doing is they brought in Daryl Morey in the front office. They've got Doc Rivers as the head coach now. He'll join us in just a little bit, and we'll see what the Sixers are going to do. What do you expect from Philadelphia? They need shooting. You know, I look at Desmond.
Yeah, Philly. Mike's right. Philly needs shooting in a big way. That's why I think Desmond Bane would be a good pick for him. He can stretch the floor. He's one of those rookies who is kind of like Brandon Clark, who's going to come in, contribute right away, kind of almost act like another veteran on the floor, if you know what I mean.
He's a terrific player and a guy who can also finish. Sixers pick is now in. Let's go to the commission.
With the 21st pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Tyrese Maxey
Okay.
from the University of Kentucky.
That's a good pick, too. So funny, Tyrese and his family, they kind of set up the table almost like they were in the NBA draft room. That's fun.
That's going into an excellent situation with Philadelphia as we take a look at player highlights brought to you by 8. We'll get to that in a minute. Tyrese working out, getting a pretty good mentor on LeBron James. Ben Simmons there as well.
All right, let's add Tyrese to Philly and see what that team looks like now. There we go. Saying wingspan.
Tyrese Maxey's a shot maker. A guy who he only shot 29-30% from three, but he shot 40% from three against top.
Thing about Maxey, he's got the offense, but he's also got that defense because he can almost very similar. I'm gonna change up my my camera. Thing about Tyrese, he's got the offense, but he's got that defense, kind of like Javon Carter, kind of like Pat Beverly, kind of that bulldog mentality on defense. I think Doc Rivers will like that a lot, especially kind of that bulldog Pat Bev mentality. So now with Maxey, we got, or with Philly. Yeah, he makes a good point because Maxey is not a pure shooter by any means. He can light it up though, but he's definitely not a pure shooter. But they've got Philly now, Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson. At the 3, are you going to start Thibault at the 3? You going to start Danny Green at the 3? You going to start Mike Scott at the 3? I don't know. I figure with the Horford trade, Tobias Harris moves to the 4. Embiid at the 5. Then off the bench, Tyrese, Shake Milton, Danny Green, Korkmaz, Zaire Smith, who, man, I think we can all agree that Zaire Smith is going to get traded for like a second-round pick at some point this season. They got T-Ferg, Terrence Ferguson, who they got in the trade from Oklahoma City. Norvell Pell can back up Harris or Embiid. So yeah, they need some help in the front court. I think that's something that can be addressed with their later picks. They have lots of picks in the second round. I think they have 5 picks total this draft. How many roster spots do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 roster spots. Getting Horford off the books helps them in a big way, especially when looking toward the future. You know, there's the rumors about James Harden coming to Philly. I actually think James Harden would work better in Philly than he would in Brooklyn.
Working for Tyrese as he worked with Rajon Rondo. Pleased to be joined by the new head coach of the 76ers.
Because even though Simmons and Embiid like to have the ball, I think it's not going to be so super crowded as far as the backcourt goes when you have Irving and Harden both wanting the ball, wanting the shots. Because Simmons can be fine as that facilitator, distributor. Or, you know, they move Simmons to the 4 and kind of make Harden their de facto point guard and kind of have Simmons and Harden kind of sharing duties as far as distributing the ball. But yeah, you know, Doc Rivers had his hand in these picks, in this pick. I mean, Doc Rivers, he is just that dude. I love the story about when he got hired. He basically just came into the office of the owner for his interview. He wanted the job and basically left with the job. Knew exactly what he was going to say, knew what he needed to say. I mean, this guy, you know, this guy kills it in a job interview, right?
You guys just made with Tyrese Maxey.
Very happy, competitive, tough. You know, when you have a guy like Ben who has the ball, you don't need a pure point
Man,
guard.
it's already 9:15. It's crazy how the hours fly by with the draft. Yeah, Tyrell Terry's still on the board. I was a big fan of Terry. I'm on record saying I think he's going to be really good.
That's right, really soon.
Like, I've seen, like, Seth Curry comparisons. I think he's going to blow Seth Curry out of the water. He's going to be one of the best shooters in the NBA in a couple of years. That's what I think about Terry.
I think getting another playmaker alongside Jamal Murray to lessen that burden a little bit. And I look at R.J. Hampton. You know, he's one of the more talented players on the board at 6'6".
That's right. Hampton's still on the board, too. That's true.
So I think he could be a steal there. There are some other options as well. Jaden McDaniels is a guy I'm interested in. Long arms, 6'10". He's really a top 10 talent in this draft. So in terms of kind of a talent swing, those are two names that come to mind.
Guys, make sure you like the video. Make sure you sub to the channel. 10,000 subscribers. We've been picking up subs left and right tonight during this live stream. It's been awesome. We're going to be at 10K before you know it. Denver.
With the 22nd pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Zeke Naji
Okay.
from the University of Arizona.
Zeke Naji.
The second Wildcat of Arizona going in this.
His sister's actually a pretty good basketball player too, from what I was reading. His sister's like, hug me, Zeke. Come on, bro. Hug me. Hug me, man. There we go. Hug for his sis. That's awesome. He was a guy who was also really rising up draft boards over the last few days. He played at Arizona with Josh Green and Nico Mannion, who is probably going to be drafted at some point in the second round. But, oh, I love that picture. One thing about Zeke, I've been reading how he was doing well in interviews, but he was also in his workouts really shooting the three, really draining the three very, very nicely. I had him as a first rounder in, I think, one of my mocks. I moved him to the early second round in my latest. So I knew he was going to be somewhere in that 20s to 30s range. So let's look at the Denver roster and see how Naji fits in. Does this mean Bowl's days are numbered in the Mile High City? I don't know. But let's look at what we have for Denver. All right, let's put in good old Zeke Naji. So, with Denver, their main priority going to be re-signing Jeremy Grant. Potentially re-signing Paul Millsap if they can get maybe a smaller deal for him. I think they also need to figure out what they're doing at the 2-guard spot. They've got Gary Harris there now, who's super overpaid. Will Barton could play the 3 or the 2 if he needs to. He played a lot of 3 last year. So you got Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Will Barton. The 4 spot, still up for grabs. Michael Porter Jr. could be the starter there next year, depending on what they do with Jeremy Grant, Paul Millsap. You got Nikola Jokic at the 5. Off the bench, Monty Morris, Keita Bates-Diop, Vlatko Kankar, I think is how you pronounce his name. Dozier is the 2-way guy who they signed to a full deal while they were in the bubble. And now they have Zeke Naji and they have Bol Bol. Bol Bol probably isn't going to catch much of a break next year either. I think it'll be him and Naji really competing for minutes at that backup 5 spot. Maybe they treat Naji very much the same way they did Bol. Maybe not as a 2-way player, of course, especially because he's a first rounder. But having him spend a lot of time in the G League, maybe making Bol that new backup at the 5. Because remember, they had Mason Plumlee last year. He's a free agent. Probably not going to re-sign Plumlee. So it's good that they have Naji and Bol as those backups. I'll be really interested to see how well Michael Porter Jr. does over the course of a whole season and what I expect to be an expanded role. Whether he plays at the 4, whether he plays at the 3. Also really interested to see if Jeremy Grant can take that next leap for next year. Is he more than just a guy who can really hustle and block shots? Can he become like a legit, maybe 3rd option for Denver? Right now, I think they're probably banking on MPJ becoming that 3rd option for Denver. But if you're going to be paying Jeremy Grant roughly $18 to $20 million a year, which I expect him to be paid, then you're going to want more production from him than just maybe like 10 points a game, 5 rebounds per game. You're going to want him to take that next leap. Going to want him to go to that other level. Then, of course, the question is, can Keita Bates-Diop live up to that Ohio State reputation? No, I'm kidding. KBD, he was one of those guys who I thought was going to be one of those like 2nd-round steals coming into the league. He just hasn't shown a ton. You know, he's with Minnesota, then they traded him to Denver in the Hernan Gomez-Beasley trade before the shutdown happened. I think he's one of those guys who get him in a system like, you know, everybody always says get him in that Spurs system, but I think if you get him in a system, just different scenery, I think he could really blossom. Monty Morris especially, really good backup point guard for them. If you want to talk 2nd-round steals, that guy was nearly undrafted. He was, in the 50s out of Iowa State. Really good pick for him, or for them.
Became a superstar with the Flyers last year, a Wooden Award winner, and he was delighted to
All right.
go to the Knicks.
Let's see who we got next at pick 23. Oh, yeah, this is a New York pick now because they traded with Utah. They traded their late 1st-rounder and their 2nd-rounder to move up to pick 23. You wonder who they're targeting. Maybe Jaden McDaniels, maybe? Maybe Jaden McDaniels?
Back end of the 1st round, their selection is in as we go next door to Adam Silver.
Let's see what the commish says.
With the 23rd pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Leandro
Oh, interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Leandro Romano is selected, and there was such delight that the camera kind of got
Ah.
knocked around a little bit in the initial celebration.
So let me type in Balmaro, and then I'll kind of give you an update on what I know about this guy.
His friends and family in the pantheon of Argentinian sports, a couple of names resonate around the globe. It's not just Balmaro.
So the first thing we need to know about Balmaro, he's not going to be coming over next year. He's going to stay overseas for next year, maybe the year after. He is a big playmaker, 6'8". Oh, okay, I'm hearing they traded him already. Well, this is what we know about Balmaro. So, Balmaro, big guy, 6'8", he's a playmaker, can really pass it. His shooting is an issue. Shot like 20-something% from three. I'm looking at these highlights of him right now. He's just like, he's like Ja Morant or LaMelo with the ball just whizzing it all over the place. People talk about getting Manu Ginobili vibes from him. People talk about him being like one of those, the next great European player. His defense is pretty good. His hustle is good. His passing is good. His work ethic is good. He can handle it. He just needs to work on his shooting. That's really going to make or break the type of career he has in the league. And they need to get him a better fitting hat. Gosh. Looks like me when I wear baseball caps.
To follow along and be the next in that tradition?
No, for me, it's like a dream. I can't believe this. I want to enjoy now.
A lot of times I'm amazed at how good these guys, how well they speak English.
And enjoy.
Absolutely, Leandro. Make sure you enjoy this. Congratulations, Reese.
Okay, Malika, and we're just finding out that Adrian Wojnarowski.
Okay, here we go.
Some news on this pick that the Knicks just made.
Yeah, Leandro is headed to Minnesota. The Knicks are going to send him along with that pick for 25 and 33. And so now, big physical European guard played in Barcelona. He goes to the Timberwolves, where they've got a Spanish point guard in Ricky Rubio, who is now on the way there. And New York now gets a couple more picks here, one in the first round and one in the second.
Okay, so they've traded for more picks. Okay. Okay, so yeah, next up is going to be what would have been the Bucks pick. Used to be the Indiana pick. It was part of the Brogdon sign and trade. Moved from Indiana to Milwaukee. Now it is moving to the Pelicans in that George Hill, Eric Bledsoe trade from earlier this week. One of the many picks Pelicans will be getting over the next few years. Who do they have?
2020 NBA Draft. The Milwaukee Bucks select R.J. Hampton.
Wow, okay.
Elm, Texas.
So R.J. Hampton, who opted not to play in college and instead go overseas.
Does RJ know he was picked?
Selected by the Bucks, but on his way to New Orleans.
Romulus Josephine Hampton. Do you know you were picked? I've never seen a man so unexcited to be picked in the NBA. Does he care at all? Does he even know?
From his season out in New Zealand, he told me it allowed him to grow up. He's already been through that rookie hurdle.
Wow. He's having the same reaction I'm having right now, and I wasn't just picked into the NBA with a multi-million-dollar contract. Oh man, all right. Well, he has that very stoic presence about him.
I will be going overseas to play in the Australian Basketball League
Okay.
Shock the world. I got offers from pretty much almost every college in the country. My top four were Kansas, Kentucky, Memphis, and Texas Tech.
Yeah, this guy almost went to Memphis. I've been following him for a while. He's actually been working out in Memphis with former NBA player, former Memphis assistant coach, now current Memphis high school coach, Mike Miller.
I'm thinking of one of my teammates, and like, let's go, mate. Good shot, boy.
The thing about RJ Hampton, he's very green. Young, inexperienced. Yeah, he played overseas. Did not have a great year in New Zealand. He really didn't. But he's athletic. Dude can jump out of the gym. Kind of a tweener as far as, is he a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? I see him more as a shooting guard in the NBA. But New Orleans is taking the steps to shore up their backcourt. Picked Kyra Lewis in the first round, earlier in the first round. Now going with RJ Hampton. Romulus Josephine Hampton. That adds to their very, very crowded backcourt with Lonzo, Bledsoe, George Hill, J.J. Redick, Josh Hart. Oh, he said he's going to Denver now? Well, we'll get it fleshed out.
The 2020 NBA Draft. The Oklahoma City Thunder select Emmanuel Quickly from the University of Kentucky.
Quickly going in the first round. Interesting. Interesting. Huh.
Philadelphia, Emmanuel Quickly is selected by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Trying on that.
So is I've lost track. Does Oklahoma City still have this pick?
Emmanuel Quickly is an excellent shooter.
I've lost track of it all.
Free throw shooter, never misses from the line. Begins his feet set, he's got deep range. Not the type of guy, doesn't put him on the deck quite as well as Tyrese Halliburton does, but his deal is he can absolutely shoot the ball. And so a little bit surprised that I didn't have him paid as a first rounder. I don't know Mike Schmitz if he did either. There's a little bit of a surprise he's going this high.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm reading on Twitter. So the Memphis area code is 901. Precious Achiuwa was drafted by Miami at exactly 901. That's pretty interesting. That's fun.
Very strong family background as well. You mentioned
But yeah, he's a great fit in Miami.
Kentucky player has had a better free throw percentage, and that was Tyler Hero. He shot just a few percentage points, or part of a percentage point higher than Emmanuel Quickly did this past year. So Quickly is on his way to Oklahoma City as they once again start to reshape their roster and their team.
Exactly. You think
Okay, so
youth movement, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like another Kentucky guy. I mean, the way that
yeah, Oklahoma City getting Quickly.
From a player developmental standpoint, to be able to have these.
I think that's a little high for him, frankly.
It's a good move for them.
And all these guards from Kentucky are used to playing with multiple ball handlers. It was Ashton Hagans, it was Tyrese Maxey, and then Emmanuel
Yeah,
Quickly.
I think that's a little high for him. But the thing about Quickly, really good range with his shot, good defender. Doesn't do much else right now. But I like his, the nickname I have for him is IQ. My wife calls him Manny Quick. I like the Manny Quick name.
All right, let's have a look at and see Oklahoma City as they have been through the ringer, starting back with the Kevin Durant era, and Russell Westbrook, James Harden moved on. As you know, the last year they had Chris Paul. What will the future be this time? They've done a tremendous job in trying to figure it out as things have changed. Have a couple of first-round.
Guys, haven't said in a while. If it's your first time here, make sure you're subbed up to the channel. I'm losing my voice. I've been talking a lot. This is been enjoying the doing the live stream though. Okay, officially yes, Pelicans are trading RJ Hampton to Denver. So let's make an update of that.
With 10 of those, we've had a couple of Kentucky guards selected. Pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Wildcats, John Calipari.
Let's see. Let's find Denver.
Well, he's going to the Knicks. You got to know he's going to the Knicks.
and they're getting a worker, a great kid, a terrific basketball player, helps build the culture you're talking about, great faith, great family. Player of the year in the SEC, we win the league by 3 games because of how he played and how Tyrese and, I'm waiting on Ashton, waiting on Nick, waiting on EJ, we're waiting on some guys, but I'm happy for those two. And Tyrese, I was on with Doc. Sam Cassell, tutor him like he did John Wall and like he did Shea. It's been a good night. I wish, there's some guys that passed on Tyrese that are going to regret it. I won't say much because I'm happy he's in the building.
He wound up in a good spot, John. What is it you think that playing in your program with so many great players and way you've been able to recruit, how does that prepare these guys to be able to step in quickly and produce in the NBA?
Okay, so, all right, so yes, number 25, the one that we, okay, IQ, quickly.
So you got to take what you want. You're not going to be
He's the one,
you got to create your space. And then the last
he's going to Minnesota in that Balmaro trade.
And so, these kids get that when
Yeah, Balmaro going to Minnesota, 25 and 33, which will be quickly. So even though it says OKC, yes, okay. I knew something was off. So yeah, let's take quickly from OKC, put him in New York.
the floor for the Knicks.
Is there anyone that has...
So yeah, Knicks fans, what do you think of Quickly in New York? I like him there better, actually, because Ellington, I don't know if he'll be back next year. Nice backup for R.J. Barrett. Oh yeah, I just realized he's with the Kentucky connection with New York. That's right. I forgot about that. So we got Quickly, along with Obi Toppin, a.k.a. Ob Top, a.k.a. Obi-Wan Topnobi, that they drafted earlier tonight. I still think Quickly's a little high. I think they could have gotten him at that pick number 33, but not me running the team. So yeah, now they got lots of potential here. Quickly, Barrett, Toppin, Robinson. Still got some property on Frankie Smokes Island.
To come into this, and those are those kids, and that's why I feel they do so well.
Just tuning in. I'm Troy. This is a live feed, instant reaction, instant analysis of the 2020 NBA Draft. Thank you for joining me tonight. I do NBA videos several times a week. And my phone falling off again. So, I was showing this earlier. I had to tape my the top of my holder on my tripod. My tripod's broken, so it's not locked in. Peyton Pritchard? Are you kidding me? Peyton Pritchard. Wow. Huh. Again. Okay, guys, there we go. Usually, things aren't as haywire. Let me unplug that. All right. Is it working this time? Are we good? Okay, so Peyton Pritchard, 26 pick, going to Boston. Do we even know does Boston still have that 26 pick? Because things are moving around so quick, it's hard to keep track of everything. Peyton Pritchard, I had him as a second rounder. I had him like in the 40s, to be honest. I thought he would be good with that with that pick for Golden State that was in like 45. I see him kind of as like modern TJ McConnell. Well, not modern. TJ McConnell's still in the game. Like modern day Steve Kerr. Kind of like a guy who can lead, who can help lead a team. Guy who can knock down some big shots. They just said on TV, clutch performer. Yeah, I see him as very clutch. So yeah, let's put Peyton Pritchard on Boston. Just adding to that guard depth. What is Boston doing?
Celtics have a couple of guys who can put in the basket out of this draft.
Yeah, guys that play off for Jason Tatum and Joe.
Yeah, Boston has so many guards now. Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Aaron Nesmith, Romeo Langford, Javonte Green, Peyton Pritchard. Yeah, this might be one of those things where Boston ends up trading some of these picks because they have so many in this draft. Who knows? Could be. Again, I still think they need to somehow work something out with Atlanta to get Okongwu using Hayward or something along those lines. But if they can do that, then who knows if Pritchard would be involved. I think Pritchard is way too high at 26, though. But good for him. Getting him a guaranteed at least 2-year deal. Little surprised Trey Jones didn't go above Pritchard. That's a little interesting to me. Jaden McDaniels still on the board. Should be coming up sometime soon.
With the 27th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Udoka Azubuike.
Really? He got first round. Wow. Udoka Azubuike got first round? Wow. I said this guy's built like a young Shaq, and he shoots free throws like him too, because he does. He's got like, shoots like 40-something% from the line, but huge wingspan, like 7'7" wingspan, big dude, like 7 feet tall, 260 pounds. But 74% something, 70-something% field goal percentage. So, I mean, give him the ball. Good chance it's going in. Wow.
Afterthought. He spent his childhood in survival mode, trying to help his family and coping with the death of his father in 2010. But like so many, he found basketball as a way to escape.
So he is.
I grew up with my mom and my dad before my dad passed away. So it's pretty much just being.
Let's see. Is that still? Okay. Got another trade. Utah Jazz are sending Tony Bradley and the 38th pick to Detroit. We'll need to update that.
And in my mind, you know, I'm like, that's pretty cool. You know, I feel like I can do that.
You know, as Boogie did pick up the game late.
All right, let's. That would make sense why Utah is picking him, since they're sending out Tony Bradley to Detroit. So let's update these rosters to reflect that.
Okay, so the Lakers are on the clock, though the champs pick will be on the move, eventually winding up in Minnesota.
Okay, Bradley going to
Lakers' name will be mentioned in terms of
Detroit.
We'll give you the pick. Come back.
And then we got Azubuike in Utah.
Because I'm your dad's son. If I wasn't your dad, would I be able to do this?
What are you doing?
How you guys liking the draft so far? Haven't seen any comments in a while. Appreciate everybody hanging around with me tonight. Only a few more picks left to go in round one. Been enjoying doing this draft with you guys tonight. Little instant analysis. Some of the best guys still on the board. We got Trey Jones. We got Robert Woodard. Jaden McDaniels. Theo Maledon. I thought he for sure would go in first round as like a draft and stash kind of player. Daniel Oturu, I know some guys are fans of.
It's not complicated. Everyone gets our best deal, like the amazing iPhone 12 mini on us.
A big college football doubleheader. An undefeated.
Somebody just commented on the channel about the Poku pick. OKC just drafted this man. I literally have never heard of him before. Yeah, I think that's a big consensus with Pokushevsky for sure. Guys, subs are blowing up. Subs are blowing up on the channel tonight. I appreciate it. If you're not subbed up, then you got to. We are closing in on 10,000 subscribers. A little bit about me. Huge basketball fan. The Grizzlies are my team. I got my Grizz shirt on right now. I do NBA videos several times a week. Anything and everything NBA. Lately, I've been doing a lot of stuff regarding free agency, the draft, because that's what's making a lot of news right now. But I'll do team breakdowns. I'll do player breakdowns. I'll do trade rumors, trade talk, any kinds of rumors, you know, storylines, breaking news, coaching changes, anything and everything NBA. This channel has been around since earlier this year. One of the fastest growing channels on YouTube, especially if we're talking NBA YouTube. One of the fastest growing channels. A lot of folks who are subbed to my channel, they enjoy channels like Sporting Logically, AM Hoops. So I would say those guys are definitely some inspiration for me when I'm making my channel. But I like to set myself apart a little bit. You know, add some humor in when I can. I have a background in TV and video production, so I like to think that my video production on my videos is a little bit more than what you'd see just on maybe like a regular YouTube channel.
The Lakers making the pick on its way to Minnesota eventually. Here's the commissioner.
Lakers pick going to Minnesota.
Pick in the 2020 NBA draft. The Los Angeles Lakers selected Jaden McDaniels.
Okay. McDaniels, I knew it was coming at some point. Wasn't exactly sure when it would. Remember, his brother plays for Charlotte.
Minnesota, the third freshman in the last 10 seasons to have 12 points per game, hit 43.
This is one of those guys who big time boom or bust player. Big time boom or bust player.
Well, they get a special talent. Jaden McDaniels, it's amazing how young he is. He just got his braces off last year. But he is long, athletic, very versatile on defense.
All right, let's add McDaniels to the Minnesota roster.
Especially in the open court. He handled the ball. He reminds you a little bit of Jonathan Isaac that played at Florida State. But versatile skill set. He just needs to get stronger. He tends to turn it over a little bit.
He's one of those guys who I think he can play the 3 or the 4. It's interesting how they have. Why hasn't Trey Jones been drafted? This is not good. I see Trey Jones as a second rounder, to be honest. I really do. I don't see Trey Jones slipping past Minnesota in the second round. Do they have that second round pick anymore? Everything's moving so fast. Oh, hold on. Let's see what Woj says.
Minnesota's president. He's really turned that roster over fully in the 2 drafts, the 2 years he's been there. Obviously, the big trade deadline deal last year with D'Angelo Russell, who they brought in to pair for Karl Anthony Towns, and obviously picking Anthony Edwards at number 1. And Ricky Rubio is a very popular player in Minnesota. He always loved playing there. He'll be a tremendous mentor for Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. This is a Minnesota organization that's really been almost fully reshaped under Rosas now.
Mm.
And hoping they can build into a contender there.
Yeah, it's so interesting with Ricky Rubio going back to Minnesota.
Picked up tonight. Well, the
He kind of grew up, became a man there. Now he's heading back.
calendar's a little bit off, but watch the start.
So yeah, with McDaniels,
NBA tip-off starting December 22nd. It'll start on TNT.
he's one of those guys where really highly touted recruit coming out of high school, signed at the University of Washington, teammate of Isaiah Stewart, actually, who was picked by Detroit earlier in the draft. Did not have a great year in college. Inconsistent. Not the best shooter. Maybe not the best body language on the court. Questions about, has he peaked? What's his role gonna look like in the NBA? So I think when you factor all that together, that caused him to slip. He's a guy who has lottery talent, maybe even like top 10 talent. But that coupled with, okay, he's a young guy who, do we want to invest this money in him? Do we want to invest these resources in a guy when there's still those questions about what's his fit in the NBA and how much does he like playing basketball, for lack of a better word? I think all those were questions that NBA teams needed to answer about Jaden McDaniels. And then also, really, really skinny. Needs to pack on weight. And, yeah, when you put all that together, late 20s, I think, is a good spot for him. But this is a guy who earlier in the year was getting lottery buzz, even as recently as just a week or so ago was getting maybe late lottery, mid-first round buzz. But I've thought all in all, this guy's like a late 20s into the 30s type of pick. And that is indeed what happened.
From Colorado. Nico Mannion's not been selected. Desmond Bain's not been selected.
You're right. Bain hasn't been picked.
Mike Schmidt just mentioned Malachi Flynn of San Diego State. Tyrell Terry of Stanford is another.
That's right. Terry as well. That's shocking.
This is about the time that he would be taken. So there are a number of really good options, and it shows.
That's shocking that Terry and Bain both haven't been picked.
There may not be a depth of like no-brainer, great player all-stars in this draft, but there are a bunch of guys that are going to play in this league for a long time, and it's going to go into the second round. Guys that you thought should have or could have been first-round picks are going to slip into the second round.
You know, we talked last night in the draft preview show about the surprises that you didn't know necessarily when Steph Curry was drafted that he would transform the way the game was played, that Kawhi Leonard would become the level of superstar that he is. We'll put you on the spot. You had to pick one guy. If we're saying that the rule is...
Grant Riller still on the board. I know a lot of folks like him.
Franchise cornerstones, all-time greats. If someone's going to become a superstar...
Bain is very interesting, though, how you don't pick Bain yet. Gosh, if he could fall to 40 for the Grizzlies, man. This is interesting, though, because with these guys who I don't really see as first-rounders, like Azubuike, Peyton Pritchard, Jaden McDaniels, that pushes down guys who I think would be better in the first round. 4 teams like my Grizzlies.
Top 6, top 7 in the league. Like, I don't think there's too many. I think there's a lot of stars. I don't think there's a lot of superstars. So it's hard for me to put any of these guys right now in that superstar category.
It's kind of the definition of surprise. I mean, like
But the definition of your job is to forecast exactly what I'm going to say, right?
You know, my boat in the south of France, and I can do that all the time.
Not magician.
Oh, I see. Okay. It's duck and weave, Bob. Toronto.
Just looking through, seeing if there's any trades I missed or any of that, because things are moving pretty quick. All right, we got Toronto. This has Bane all over it. No, Malachi Flynn. Wow. He was getting first round buzz. This is a good pick. This is a really good pick because we don't know what's going to happen with Fred VanVleet. We don't know what's going to happen with Kyle Lowry. He is on the last year of his deal. To be honest, we don't know what's going to happen with Terrence Davis because he was involved in some legal trouble not too long ago.
Yeah, he's one of the best pick-and-roll players in the draft.
So I think it's a good idea to shore up some of that, shore up that point guard spot.
He was more of a bucket getter.
Get some guys in there on that back court. Flynn is a guy who can get buckets. He is a guy who can play in the pick and roll. He's a fiery competitor. He's experienced. I like that pick.
So I love his mentality. Reminds me a little bit of Devontae Graham out of Cambridge.
And another in your brother theory, he's the youngest of 7.
And there is the family picture, the youngest of 7, so he knows how to compete for sure.
Yeah, I'd love one actually. What are you making?
I'm having Bobby and egg toast.
Oh yeah?
What kind of egg would you like? Do you like toast or anything? Or just
That would be great, actually. If you don't mind. Would you like me to film you making it for the YouTube channel?
Do you want Bobby on it?
Yeah, that'd be great. My wife has just offered to make me some avocado toast with egg on it, and that's an offer I'm definitely taking her up on.
One egg or two?
It is interesting watching how
Surprise me.
guards, though, like Kyle Lowry, obviously
How is your evening?
Good. I'm binging my Whitney.
success playing small.
You're watching. So we've been watching.
Don't admit it.
My wife and I have been binging TLC's My Big Fat Fabulous Life for the last week or so, and
Knows how to play.
the
This is a terrific pick for the end of the first round.
And if you talk to people who knew Fred VanVleet,
wonderful woman she is, she's decided to watch the episodes without me.
So what, your egg?
Yes, please.
approaches things, he's not some
Like this
brash
cartoon?
guy.
Uh-huh.
Vocal, but he commands.
While I'm out here providing, huh?
That was a threat.
Yeah, I know. She's now threatening to not make my egg for me. But yes, while I'm out here providing content for you wonderful people, has been watching our show. Okay, we're coming up on the 30th pick. Guys, this has been a great first round.
The next 30 televised?
Yes, next 30 are televised as well. I've been on this. We've been going on this live feed for coming up on 3 hours now, if you can believe it. 3 hours.
Are you going to keep doing it to 60?
I don't think I will.
You don't think you can?
I probably could, but I think they've probably seen enough of me for the evening. We got 60 picks left. We got some good guys still on the board. I'm still shocked about Desmond Bane and Tyrell Terry. How can you not pick those guys? How? I don't understand it. I do not understand it. Huh.
This is the last one.
This is pick number 30, first round.
With the 30th pick in the
It's got to be Desmond Bane.
draft, the Boston Celtics select Desmond Bane,
Yep.
Christian from Texas Christian University.
There he is with the fam.
First draft pick from TCU since Lee Nailon last century in 1999. Jay, you talked about his ability to shoot the ball.
Good for them.
So that is what the Grizzlies
Good for them.
go back to the commission.
second round will be conducted by Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum. Before I turn things over to Mark, I want to send my appreciation to all NBA.
Yeah, that would be great too.
I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. I'd also like
Well, hey, I'm about to tell everybody goodbye if you want to tell everybody goodbye with me. Yeah. Caitlin says goodbye. I'm going to enjoy the second round here once they come back from break. Guys, last time, before I let you go, this has been a fun night. Been a fun draft. I hope your team picked the guys that you wanted. I hope that your team does well next year. The NBA season is just a little over a month away, if you can believe it. Just a little over a month away. So many questions about what's going to happen. Questions about who's going to sign where. Maximum occupancy 120. Hates the Pistons for trading Luke Kennard. Maybe he'll become a Clippers fan. 2-guard Luke Kennard. Playing with Kawhi and Paul George. I hope he's happy not getting shots anymore. And I just read that Desmond Bane's going to the Grizzlies. Proposed trade to the Grizzlies. Wow. Okay. Could this night have gone any better right now? Okay, well, we just got to end it on that. Desmond Bane. One of the... this guy is going to be a first-round steal. I said before earlier, he's like the Brandon Clark of the draft. Going to the Grizzlies. Wow. Insane. You know, we just got to... we got to call it a night with that. Okay, yes, we got... Hold on. Once the egg is finished, we'll stay on until the eggs are complete so you can see the beautiful avocado toast that my wife is making for me. And I'm just sitting here holding a banana, not even eating it, like a complete rube. That's good stuff. Big surprises of the night for me. What do you have to say about the Toronto pick? Malachi Flynn. I'll go over it again really quick. They need help in the backcourt because we don't know what's going to happen with Fred VanVleet. Lowry's on the last year of his deal. And frankly, Terrence Williams... What's his name? Terrence Williams? I can't even remember. Terrence Davis. He's had some legal trouble. We don't exactly know what's going to happen with Terrence Davis. Terrence Williams, that was a guy from KU who got drafted a few years ago. Rock Chalk. Terrence Davis, we don't know what's going to happen with him because he's had some legal issues over the last couple weeks. They need help shoring up those backcourt spots. Malachi Flynn, great hustle player, great pick and roll player. He can really get after it. He's experienced, led San Diego State to a really nice season this past year. I had him, thank you, baby, thank you so much. I had him in my mock draft in the 20s to Utah. I thought they could really use him as a Mike Conley backup. Guys, look at this beautiful egg and avocado toast that my wife has made for me. Look at that. And even one on the side. Guys, I'm gonna eat my post first round snack. I'm gonna have another video with hopefully some NBA draft grades here in the next couple of days. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Make sure you like the channel or sub to the channel. Make sure you like the video. Going for 10,000 subs by the end of this month. The subs have been blowing up during this live stream. It's been awesome. You guys are awesome. This meal's about to be awesome. And here's to an awesome second round of the draft. Thanks, everybody.